time. What's up, y'all? It's your boy BOOGOTTINYC. Could have went anywhere. Fact of the matter that you came here to chill with me, I appreciate you. What's going on out there, you guys? That's right. It's Wednesday, hump day. Come on, bring it all in, because you know what we got to do. We got to get it right. Let's get the camera straight. Hope everybody's good. That's right, you guys. It's Wednesday. Let's go. Come on in, everybody. Come on in. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Get that straight right there. Boop, boopy, doop, doop. Okay, let's see if we can get some situations going on over there and zoom it in just a little bit. Just a touch. Love it a little bit. See how we looking over here on these other monitors real quick. Give me 1 second, everybody. Yeah, we could fix that up just a little bit. Let me see what I could do at the top of that up there. It's not really liking that. So let's see if we could straighten it out. Straighten it out. Let's see. Up a little bit more, and that's on the hour bottom line side should go down. So let's move on. Okay, you're still working it out. That's why I give myself this time. It's exactly why I give myself time, because you never know when you're going to be caught up. All right, use both hands, Gotti. Come on now. Use both hands. Let's get this D thing done. I want to get over there and talk to the people already. I think we almost got it. I think this is going to be it right here. I'm not mad at that. I'm not angry at that. That's how we going to rock today, y'all. I'm going with that right there. Hope everybody's having a fantastic morning. It's your boy BOOGOTTINYC. Like I always tell you, you could have went anywhere. Fact of the matter that you came here to chill with me, I appreciate you. Okay, Trump. Who were the politicians that accepted donations from Epstein? Because you know there were a few of them, right? We're going to get into that. And as you can see, one of them are already on the header. Not big denominations, but you know, for some people like us, regular folk, we would call those large denominations 20,000, 25,000, 3,500 altogether. You know, different denominations like that. Guess what, you guys? We made it another day, and we got to be thankful to who? The man upstairs. So we can't go any further without what? Putting those prayers up in the air for good health. Thanking the Lord for another day, for bringing me here to be with you guys. That's another thing, for making me be able to wake up again, to get these stories out, and to give me the energy and the try my best to be fair and not be one-sided. I always pray for that. Try not to be all one-sided and all of that. You know, try to not lead people and let people be who they want to be. I also want to pray for your health, your animals, as well as your family. Who we praying for this morning? That's right, you guys. We made it another day, Wednesday, and we celebrate over here. Jet. We're going to pray for the hero, Miss Swanza, Mark Dorfman, Jeff Rubank. Okay, cool. Who else we got up in here? I see Batty up in here. Miss Swanza, Winter Rising. How you doing with Winter Rising? Who else we got up in here this morning? I think I actually did see her. Did I say Mark already? Because I know I definitely saw him up in here. Definitely saw him in here. You guys ready to go? Can't forget about certain other people like Sam Champion, Liberty and Justice, Casey, also Jeffrey Spilker, and so many others that always come through. Hopefully they chime in soon, but guess what? We already put the prayer in for you. And Rebecca Lanyan Bueno, who normally chimes in from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Amen. Let's keep on moving forward, you guys. We got work to do. Let me see where we're at on this time. We got a little bit time. Let me get this audio straight. I can't wait to do this one. Lord, give me the energy, because sometimes I say, you know what? We got to knock it out the park, and that's what I'm going for today. I'm trying to knock it all the way out the park with the trending topics, current events, and much, much more. Okay, we got our audio up right now. So you know what that means. I think it's almost time for this. Where you at right now with me? Almost. I already put the prayer up, so it's on you, Gotti. Break a leg. Who else? We got people coming in the building still. Okay, I see you, Audrey. Okay, keep on coming on in because it's early. I know you guys are still wiping your eyes and getting out of bed, Mega Dub. I'm ready to go. They're ready to go. I said it's time to start the show. I hope you're ready, yo, 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 yo. And we wind it up, wind it up, wind it up. It's 6 o'clock. Somewhere. But we're going to give him a second because we know how you do. We're always ahead of you, but it's okay. So let's go. We ready? It's got to be 6 o'clock now. Want to throw the wave? All right, let's go. Let's go. Okay. Olé. And we open up those pores. We gotta open up those pores. We gotta open up those pores. We gotta dun 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 la di da da da. What these birthdays dun 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 dun. Help me, help me, help me. There was Brenda, Letitia, Linda, Felicia, Dawn, LaShawn, Inez, Alicia, Teresa, Monica, Sharon, Nikki, Lisa, Veronica, Karen, Vicky, Cookie. Well, I met her at a ice cream parlor. Tanya, Diane, Lorraine, Carla, Marina, Selena, Karina, Selena, Rashida, Kelly, Nicole, Rena, Tracy, Rana, Donna, Yolanda, Tawana, Wanda, Twana, Anna. We're all treated fairly, but yet and still, chickens is on some other shit now that I'm rocking with Drew Hill. But I'ma keep it real. What the hell you want with her? What the hell you want with her? What the hell you do? I feel like I could do that better. Let's go again. Because it's a real long verse. So we're going to try it one more time. There was Brenda, Letitia, Linda, Felicia, Dawn, LaShawn, Inez, Alicia, Teresa, Monica, Sharon, Nikki, Lisa, Veronica, Karen, Vicky, Cookie. Well, I met her at a ice cream parlor. Tanya, Diane, Lori, Carla, Marina, Selena, Katrina, Sabrina, about 3 Kims, Latoya, Tina, Shelly, Bridget, Kathy, Rashida, Kelly, Nicole, Angel, Juanita, Stacy, Tracy, Rana, Rhonda, Donna, Yolanda, Tawana, and Wanda were all treated fairly, but yet and still, chickens is on some other stuff now that I'm rocking with Drew Hill. But I'ma keep it real. What the hell you want with her? What the hell you want with her? What these chickens? Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. That's how you do it, Gotti. That's how you do it. You don't do it until you do it right, especially when it comes to the man, R.I.P. DMX. Y'all ready to go? Because I am. If, pump that beat. It's Wednesday the 18th. That's right, y'all. It's 2026. I'm your host, Bugatti NYC, and this is our bottom line, where we be talking about this and that and chat and this and this and that. And we be talking about this and that and that and this and this and that. Just got me lit. Brenda, Letitia, Linda, Felicia, Dawn, LaShawn, Inez, Alicia, Teresa, Monica, Sharon, Nikki, Lisa, Veronica. I know y'all was gonna be like, wait a minute, Bugatti, I know that song, and my name is in that song, and you ain't say my name, so yeah, you gonna have to do that over. So I had to make sure I had you guys set up. Hope everybody's having a fantastic morning. Welcome to Our Bottom Line. It's another day for us to do what we gotta do. And yes, trending topics, current events, and much, much more. Hope you guys had a fantastic evening, because I know I did, even though I was battling with a judge yesterday. And she thinks it's over. I'm about to go back down there for another round, Yeah, I don't know if y'all know it, but yeah, I don't play when it comes down to court, and I don't like losing. So yeah, I got to go down there for another round, and I'm going to keep you guys up to date on what happens and the turnout. But anyway, we got to keep on moving forward because this is our bottom line. Again, trending topics, current events, and much, much more to get into. Yeah, you guys know what we're going to do right now, right? I got 5 on it. I'm going to stack 5 videos at a time. All I'm going to ask you guys to do is stay on topic, stay on point. Do your boy a favor. Let me know where you're chiming in from and what time it is. I also like to know what regions of the world that you're in, because sometimes, believe it or not, we're over there. Turkey, Cuba, Dubai, Spain, Venezuela, Pakistan, Maine. You know what I'm saying? We need to do one like that when it comes down to our bottom line. That'll be kind of hot. Yeah, we got to do something like that. But yes, we're all over and we got a lot of trending topics to get into. That's why I want you guys to let me know where you're chiming in from. Also, again, what time it is and just stay on topic so we can keep on moving forward. Without any further ado, because that was a long intro, what am I going to say right now? Let's get into these titles. Let's go right now. Let's go. What do we have right now? Trump. Who were the politicians that accepted Epstein campaign donations? Like I said earlier, guys, wasn't large denominations, but it was a lot, and it was raining all the way from the end of '96 to the early 2000s, all the way leading up to former President Bill Clinton, with a donation to the Clinton Foundation, of course. We got a lot to get into. Let's keep on going, you guys. What else we got? We got Hillary Clinton, who slams the Trump administration over the Epstein file handling. Now, if this ain't the pot calling the kettle black, oh yeah, she was going in and basically said, if you guys want me to be interviewed, guess what you got to do? You got to bring me in and I want it live, because if you do it any other way, I'm going to really take the gloves off and you're not going to like me. You're not going to like me too much. Don't get me angry. You won't like me when I'm angry. Let's keep on moving forward, because last but not least, we got Florida band teacher that's been accused of inappropriate relationship with students. And you know we're putting them on blast. We always do when it comes down to the meat grinder or the wood grinder on slow. You guys choose. Without any further ado, let me cue this next video up, because it's time to get into it. We got a lot of work to get into. Let's go ahead and break it down. Yesterday, we started with the president as he was speaking on Air Force One with a bit of gaggle. Today, we're going to keep on going into that, finalize that, and keep on running down with the rest of the stories. Come on in, you guys. Good morning. Let's do it. Let's do what we got to do. It's our bottom line time. Come on. Oh, as a matter of fact, that's not what we're going to do. I think we're going to do this breaking story right now. Sorry about that. We have a breaking story right now that's coming right out of Rhode Island, and I have to follow up with yesterday's breaking stories. We're going to do a few clips on that, and it's very important right now. Let's go, you guys. Good morning. Yes, and this story right here puts a lot of color into what happened.
Rhode Island, this terrible story. 3 people dead, including the attacker, after a shooting at a youth hockey game that was captured on camera. The shooting happened in Pawtucket, a few miles outside of Providence, yesterday afternoon. 3 more in critical condition at the hospital. Alexis McAdams has more on this. And the gunman. Alexis, good morning.
Bill, good morning. Yeah, this just keeps unfolding and the details are shocking and really tragic. There was just chaos inside of this ice rink out in Rhode Island during a high school hockey game after one of the hockey parents in the crowd pulled out a gun and opened fire, shooting members of his own family. Watch. I mean, you can hear the gunshots there just erupting. You can hear the echo inside of that indoor hockey rink out there in Pawtucket. And then what you see in that video is that people are running for cover there. They're trying to get off the ice. They're ducking and trying to get out of the way. Investigators have identified Robert Dorgan as the shooter. So I want to walk you through what we know about him. Just take a look here at this picture. This is from his social media profiles. They say he also went by Roberta, so Roberta Dorgan. And sources tell Fox he was dressed in women's clothing when he showed up to his son's hockey game yesterday afternoon. These
Robert/Roberta.
Pictures you're looking at are from months ago, Bill, but witnesses and people we've talked to who were at this hockey game say that this was something that happened pretty often, where he would show up in women's clothing. So according to documents obtained by our affiliate WPRI, Dorgan had a history of family disputes. So let's get into them. Some involving conflict over his gender identity, because he had gender reassignment surgery back in 2020. So WPRI reports that in these court documents, his trans identity led to the divorce with his ex-wife, reportedly detailing, she said, that he had narcissistic and personality disorder traits along with the transition. So his social media profile's under investigation. I want to point this out. Just one day before he opened fire.
So this fool was married and doing all of this.
He was defending trans Congresswoman Sarah McBride. He wrote this in part on X. Keep bashing us, but do not wonder why we go berserk. So they're looking into all of these things on social media. As investigators say, it was a targeted attack. That's one thing they know for sure. Sources telling Fox it was a dispute within this family that led to the tragedy. So the gunman shows up, kills his ex-wife and one of his own kids at the hockey game. Police say 3 others are in the hospital fighting for their lives. And there really could have been more people that were killed, but a good Samaritan stepped in and tried to take this gunman down. Watch.
Police were on scene within a minute and a half of that call. A good Samaritan stepped in and interjected in this scene, and that's probably what led to a swift end of this tragic event.
And so what we know right now is that the mayor has said so far, Bill, they've interviewed dozens, maybe more than 100 people. They're going to look at all the different video and piece this together. The question is, how many weapons did this gunman have? We know at least one, and it could have been a lot worse if this other person at the game wouldn't have stepped in and taken that shooter down. So we'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah, we still got more on this story right here. Terrible, tragic event, but yes, we definitely started off with it because it is our new stuff. Well, our new breaking news that we definitely got. So yeah, we got to get into it.
This is the moment gunshots ring out at a high school hockey game in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Student athletes and people in the stands fleeing for safety.
It was a bang. I thought it was a pops. I thought it was balloons at first, but it was not balloons.
In the end, 2 victims and the suspected shooter were dead. 3 others were left in critical condition. Police say a brave bystander was able to subdue the gunman and prevent even more bloodshed.
A good Samaritan stepped in and interjected in this scene, and that's probably what led to a swift end of this tragic event.
Police identifying the shooter as 56-year-old Robert Dorgan, who also went by the name Roberta. They say Dorgan entered the arena armed with multiple weapons to watch a family member, then carried out what they say appears to have been...
How did he get in? Were there any weapons checks or anything like that? Like
a targeted attack stemming from a family dispute.
And from witnesses here that the male shot himself inside the ice rink.
A woman claiming to be the shooter's daughter told our affiliate WCVB this was a domestic breakdown.
He shot my family, and he's dead now.
What was the reasoning? Was there a family argument?
He has mental health issues. If you have a loved one who you think is sick, trust your gut.
Officials confirming all student athletes were physically unharmed.
if you have a loved one who you think is mentally sick, trust your gut. We talk about that all the time over here.
But witnesses say the emotional scars will be deep.
You could see the tears starting to come down and the parents hugging their kids, and I'm sure they're thanking God that they weren't the victim of the shooting and they're still alive with them today.
The victims' names were not released. The shooting comes just 2 months after the deadly shooting down the street at Brown University in Providence.
Oh, God.
Don't bite the old one.
We gotta keep on moving forward, but of course, we're not going to just move forward without praying for all of the families and every single victim that is going through this tragic time right now. Is anyone emotionally that's going through it as well? Because seeing that, being around it can really be detrimental. We've saw other schools and how other kids take it. I really hope that there's going to be some really strong resources that are going to go out for those children, and we pray for the victims as well. Amen, you guys. Let's keep on moving forward. Get back over to Washington, because President Trump means what he says on the U.S. as far as the warning when it comes down to Iran. Let's keep on moving forward now. Regular daily news. And as you know, I promise I'm going to keep on peeling the onion back on that, trying to find out much more about the victims as well as the suspect. Well, the alleged suspect.
Rifts between countries. You've been noticing, right? That's an easy one to say.
On Venezuela, Nancy Rodriguez last week said that Nicolas Maduro is still a legitimate president and is innocent. I know you said the relationship is a 10, but I'm curious what's your thoughts on that?
I think we have a great relationship. I think she probably has to say that.
Yes, there is pushback, and there's actually people that are saying that Nicolas Maduro is still the president and that he was kidding. Yeah, you know what I'm gonna say. Yeah.
I think politically maybe she has to say that. But the relationship with Venezuela. She's doing a very good job, and I fully understand that statement.
You're going to have Ukraine talks tomorrow as well in Geneva with Witkoff and Jared Kushner. What are you expecting there? Is there
Well, they're big talks. It's going to be very easy. I mean, look, so far, Ukraine better come to the table fast. That's all I'm telling you. We are in a position, we want them to come. And by the way, I watched AOC answering questions.
Yeah, we did that yesterday, buddy. Let's go. We're going to keep on moving forward. We're trying to get everything that you got. Come on, what else was it? What
First
else
is this. U.S. and Iran officials set to hold another round of nuclear talks today in Geneva as military tensions rise between the two nations. Iranian naval forces, including the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, conducted military drills in the Strait of Hormuz on Monday. Special envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner are expected to lead the negotiations. Here's the president about his role. Watch.
I'll be involved in those talks indirectly, and they'll be very important. We'll see what can happen. I mean, it's been typically Iran's a very tough negotiator. They're good negotiators, or bad negotiators. I would say they're bad negotiators because we could have had a deal instead of sending the B-2s in to knock out their nuclear potential. And we had to send the B-2s. I hope they're going to be more reasonable. I think they want to make a deal. I don't think they want the consequences of not making a deal.
Joining me now is the U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, Michael Waltz. Ambassador, great to have you.
Nope, we got to keep on moving forward. We get it from the horse's mouth when we can, and then if we can't, we get it from the runner-up. And the runner-up is, but today we got it from him. So we're going to keep on moving forward. Now, want to just give a strong, respectful word of inspiration for Black History Month, as well as a word of reflection for the late, great Reverend Jesse Jackson, who we lost yesterday at age 84 years old. One of the well-known and renowned civil rights activists. He lost his life or died at age 85. I don't want to say lost his life. He died at age 85 of a very rare cancer disease, a very rare disease known. Let's keep on moving forward, you guys. Double tap that screen to get those likes up. Let's go. Let's get into it.
University of Pennsylvania. Thomas and Alex, back over to you.
All right, thank you, Bob. We want to go back to the breaking news of Reverend Jesse Jackson dying overnight at the age of 84. His family earlier this morning said that he died peacefully, surrounded by family. He was hospitalized in November with a rare brain disease, progressive supranuclear palsy. Reverend Jackson was a protege of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and fought for civil rights his entire life. He ran for president in 1984 and 1988 and was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom by former President Bill Clinton.
Making an impact here at home and around the world, but I want to show you a video. This is a video of Reverend Jackson and his time in Philadelphia here in 2018 for the Progressive National Baptist Convention. As part of the convention, people marched to the Liberty Bell to highlight issues of racial justice and to encourage voter turnout for the midterm elections. He also made a stop in 2016 for the Democratic National Convention. Here's part of his speech.
There's a tug of war for America's soul. We have a clear choice. Take down walls of separation, build bridges of hope and unity. Love must trump ignorance and fear and hatred and violence. We live under one big kingdom, all including none must be left behind. We've learned to survive, a cult must not learn to live together as brothers and sisters.
And now we want to take a live look at the headquarters of the Rainbow Push Coalition in Chicago. The Rainbow Push Coalition is a nonprofit organization formed as a merger of two nonprofit organizations founded by Jesse Jackson. Operation Push, People United to Save Humanity, and the National Rainbow Coalition. The organizations pursue social justice, civil rights, and political activism. Of course, in Chicago, it's an hour behind, so it's 5:35 in the morning there. But they will be critical to carry on his message, to carry on his movement, and to make sure that his legacy lives on.
Oh, yep. 84 years old, you guys. I mean, it's not like you can live forever. Definitely lived a full life, and he definitely put a real strong message out and a strong staple in our people. Gotta say, that's something that many men look up to and look out for. A lot of us understand that we can't take the riches with us or any of this stuff that you guys are talking about right now. Oh, he's hot on the internet. Oh, he can sing. He plays good. No, we actually want to leave a legacy behind. Some good men, believe it or not, that's what they live for, to leave a legacy behind. And I have to say, I think that Reverend Jesse Jackson is going to do just that. Have to show respect to him, as well as his movement, his push, everything that he did for people, as well as the message and the way that he stood strong for Black American people. And everybody, as you can see in his message. Want to put that out there and say respect to his family as well as the Rainbow Push Coalition, and hope that they continue moving forward, and because people still need them. Amen. Hopefully there's another person that blossoms out of that foundation. Just keep on moving forward, you guys, because now we're in day 5. They say 4, I say 5 of a partial government shutdown. And let's see what we got to do when it comes down to this partial government shutdown and what's going on already, damn it.
And the partial government shutdown entering its 4th day amid a standoff over funding for the Department of Homeland Security, which has been under fire over the administration's handling of immigration enforcement.
Good morning, everybody.
Jay O'Brien is tracking the latest for us. Good morning to you, Jay.
Good morning to you, Robin. President Trump now saying overnight he will sit down with Democrats to negotiate funding for the Department of Homeland Security 4 days after that agency technically shut down. And we've learned this morning that Democrats have now sent their counteroffer to the White House. The details of it are unclear, but the president telling reporters he's against some key demands Democrats have made on reforms to ICE. Among those are prohibiting agents from wearing masks, preventing immigration enforcement at sensitive places like medical facilities, schools, churches, and polling places, and requiring ICE to obtain warrants signed by a judge, particularly before entering private property. Meantime, the majority of DHS employees, from TSA to FEMA to the Coast Guard, many of them still rattled from the last shutdown, the longest in U.S. history, are expected to work without pay once again, and ICE operations will continue. Now, the timing of any in-person negotiations like those the president mentioned is still unclear. The Capitol remains largely empty. Lawmakers are still on recess for the week, but they've been told to prepare to return to Washington on 48 hours notice if a deal comes together. Michael.
And they're saying that, and then we're gonna go in a whole nother direction right now, because yes, partial shutdown, 3 areas, 3%. What do you guys think right now as far as, like, when I say this? The next ticket, what is it, 28? What is it, the next ticket? Is that 28 or 29? You guys help me out on that. But for the next ticket for the president and vice president, how would you like, you ready? Rubio and Vance, or Vance Rubio. Rubio Vance, Vance Rubio. Let me know what you guys think about that being the next ticket, because there's speculation out there, and the president, he has been asked about the possibilities of that being on the next ticket. So you guys, let me know what you think about that situation there.
Marco Rubio and Vice President J.D. Vance as speculation grows over their potential 2028 presidential
29.
runs.
Somebody, which one is it?
Marco Rubio
29.
received really positive reviews in Munich. Is there a scenario in which you would support him at the top of the ticket in 28?
Something I don't have to worry about now.
He said the same thing, and somebody said it right and took the words out of his mouth. Someone said, I still have time to decide who to vote for. Patty Lynn, there you go.
We've got 3 years to go. So it's something I don't have to worry. JD's fantastic and Marco's, they're both fantastic. I think really, and I think Marco did a great job in Munich.
Joining us now is senior writer for the Washington Examiner and Fox News contributor Joe Concha. Joe, even the president receiving that question proves the impact that one positive and very successful speech can make.
Thank you.
So what do you make of the president receiving that question and his response when it comes to the future of the Republican Party?
I think that already, and we are only 3 years out, and I understand what the president is saying, but also he has praised J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio seemingly from day one. I mean, that is quite the potent 1-2 punch of a ticket. I mean, you have a sitting vice president, a sitting Secretary of State, National Security Advisor. Marco Rubio also has something like 18 other jobs within the administration because he is so respected within that administration. And guys, I don't see a scenario that could even remotely challenge Vance and Rubio being the 2028 presidential ticket. 28. They are wholly embraced by MAGA, the president's 78.
They seem like they kind of mesh. They're out there, they're doing business together, they're laughing and joking. This could be your next president and vice president, you guys.
million supporters who voted for him in the last election. They may even bring in more voters in terms of independents, in terms of Latinos as well, so the net may only widen. And most importantly, they have the backing of President Trump, who obviously founded MAGA. So we're going to see pretend candidates like Marjorie Taylor Greene.
One other thing I can say is if there's anybody else in the parties that do pop out and they say that they're okay, I'm sorry. If any other candidates in any other parties say, I'm against the trans and the broken-wristed clique and all of that stuff that's going on in the schools with the books, I'll probably be for those people too. That's what you guys got to understand about me. I just can't go for that. I can't go for that. No. No can do. Nah, I can't go for that. Oh, come on now. You guys know Hall & Oates. Stop playing with me. If you guys know what I'm talking about. You want my body now. You got my soul. Keep on moving forward because they just said her name. And we might as well bring it up because she had a very strong opinion on the Republican Party. And I'm talking about none other than Marjorie Taylor Greene. And I'm saying it the right way. I'm not trying to say it the way that Trump says it, but I know somebody here is going to just drop it like it's hot in the comments and says it and say it the other way. But they basically are saying that she exposes the Epstein update and says that she and one other person were constantly called and told to remove their names from the petitions. Let's keep on moving forward, you guys, because yes, y'all spoke her up. So why not go ahead and let her speak? Let's go.
Here's the interesting part. Okay. There were only 4 Republicans, only 4 of us that signed that discharge petition. Thomas Massey, myself, Lauren Boebert, and Nancy Mace. Now, what was happening in the background for months leading up to when we finally got it released?
Now, all I'm going to ask you guys to do, if you're enjoying the content, if you appreciate the fact that we were up all day making sure that it's all consistent, sequenced the right way, and making sense, do your boy a favor and double tap that screen and get those likes up because I really would appreciate it. It gets more people over here and we're trying to do that. Get the message out. We have a lot of educational things coming up and some of the things that's coming up I'm really happy about because it kind of fortifies a lot of the stuff that we were doing here earlier. So a lot of people, if you haven't stuck around, if you've been around and you're not here for this episode, I kind of feel for you because this is going to be one right here, especially when it comes down to the natural part where we start going into the natural growth, that's my favorite part, the health segment. Let's keep on moving forward, you guys.
Is we were getting pressure from the White House. We were getting pressure from the speaker. Do not take your name off this discharge petition. And we're like, why? We're talking about the Epstein files. This is the ultimate promise. This is the ultimate way to provide transparency. This is the ultimate way to take it to the deep state and expose a whole criminal cabal of rich, powerful elites that I believe control everything.
And on this, I have to leave that right there and say, what if there is another part of the government? And you guys ready for this? What if that part of the government is even stronger than Trump? Stronger than everything that we have going on down here on this level? What if there is like a whole nother, I don't want to say those words and get myself in trouble, but let's say, okay, we got the government that we know, but let's say if there's a boom that tells them, hey, if that's the case, a lot of the stuff is going to start making sense, especially in this episode, you guys. Please stick around for this because it's going to turn up. I saw her the other day, like on 27th Street.
And guess what? Come to find out, they do.
They do.
And, so we're like, why? So in the meantime, President Trump is calling it Epstein, the whole thing a hoax. Yeah. He's calling it a Democrat hoax. He won't have anything to do with the women. He still refuses to have anything to do with these women. So this whole thing is building. The women are saying, President Trump did nothing wrong. They still say this. President Trump did nothing wrong. Their attorney says, Donald Trump's the only one that helped us. And guess what? That came out in the Epstein files. That he reported Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah. So but Donald Trump is fighting it. President Trump is fighting it. President Trump is yelling at me. The White House. And guess what?
So what's crazy is, again, she even admits that he came up exonerated and did nothing wrong, and it's all out there.
He says, Donald Trump's the only one that helped us. And guess what? That came out in the Epstein files. that he reported Jeffrey Epstein. So like, but Donald Trump is fighting it. President Trump is fighting it. President Trump is yelling at me. The White House is putting pressure on Nancy Mace.
What if somebody's putting pressure on? Dun, 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 President Trump.
They take Lauren Boebert in a skiff. I don't even know what they said to her in there. They are attacking Thomas Massie, nonstop attacking Thomas Massie. And then one day I get a phone call from the president in September, and he is so mad at me. And he's yelling at me, and he's angry at me. And the fact that he's like, you're supporting Rand Paul Jr., and he's chewing me out for signing my name on Thomas Massie's discharge petition to release the Epstein files. And I'm trying to tell him, Mr. President, they say you did nothing wrong. This needs to come out. And so we're having this argument, and he tells me on this phone call, he's like, Marjorie, my friends will get hurt.
That's it.
Ooh, 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 baby, baby. You heard it first. You heard it first. That's right, you guys. Let's double tap that screen and get those likes up, because it ain't over. That's right. It ain't over. California, absolutely gross and disgusting. That's right. California Democrats are basically saying this about the wildfire response. How dare Newsom talk crap when this is what's going on? Not me, Californians, and many more people. And I have to say, I agree with them. I just don't understand what's going on with this situation over here. It's just ridiculous already.
Story for us, and she joins me now here in New York City. How can we break this social media addiction? I don't see how.
That's what we're actually going to go into right now, actually. Okay, are we going to do that? Are we going to do that? Are we going to do that one? You know what? I think it's more important than some gossip. So yeah, let's do that one instead, because it ties in with it ties in with our other topics. We're not going to go with the Gavin Newsom topic. We're going to start going into the social media and the influence of what it actually does, because it actually is a part of our health. It's much more important than gossip. Let's do that.
How you do it?
Well, that's the kind of the point, right? Is that it doesn't just fall in the hands of the parents, because these algorithms are designed to be addictive. Just think about the endless scroll, so you never have to stop and pause. Think about when you draw down and it refreshes. It's like a slot machine. You never know what you're going to get. They keep these kids constantly engaged with notifications and rewards. And the reality is that this is the reason there's a lawsuit.
Yeah, this is more
because
important.
for a very long time, these big tech giants had Section 230, which protected them. And the pretense was, hey, we're not responsible for what gets put on our platform. But this is different, because now they're being sued over the algorithms they purposely engineered. And one more thing you should know about this is that they knew it. They knew it and they buried it. And whistleblowers have come out and exposed all of it. And they even went so far as to say, let's not do any more research on this so that we don't have to answer to it later.
What's the solution?
Don't give your kids, they say, wait at least until 8th grade. And the bigger thing should be probably high school.
Could you imagine not giving your kid a phone or an iPhone until they're in the 8th grade? You're going to have Battle Royal Rumble in that house. Yeah! How many of you had toddlers that were like this on the iPad, that you literally hand the iPad to help you get unstuck?
It's a tough one.
I mean, have the devices out of schools.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, what can we do? You have to support.
Then the parents are going to say, with now what's going on in the schools, how would I make sure that my child is safe for emergency measures? I'm speaking for you guys. I got your back, because I know what they say.
Legislation that you see coming forward with regard to regulating these guys far more rigorously. But right now, you have to limit their time on the device as a parent, which is hard.
It is
That's
hard.
what you have to do.
It is. Next one, Julian. Again, another subject that you know a lot about. Your latest op-ed, you say you're fed up with Democrat leaders blaming anything but the truth for the wildfires in California. Governor Newsom, LA Mayor Karen Bass, they blamed climate change for the fires. You want to respond to that?
Okay. Well, first of all, let's start on the fact that the Palisades fire was completely preventable. So this started on January 1st with a totally manageable fire called the Lockman Fire. But because there are laws in California that prevent you from putting equipment into state parks that would fully extinguish these fires, in order to protect, you can't make this up, a milk veg plant, the fire was not fully put out. Winds that they knew were coming, of course, reignited the Lockman fire into the Palisades fire. Having said all of that, the reservoir, uphill at San Ynez Reservoir, was empty. And the best part is they turn around, they're like, well, it wouldn't have mattered if it was full. So hold on. You know you have the Santa Ana winds. You know you have yearly fires. You're telling us that the San Ynez Reservoir was irrelevant anyway. And you did nothing to safeguard the city?
Oh, yeah, I never do that. Normally never run into another part of a clip like that, but I had to, because I'm trying to figure out how in the H-E-double-L hockey sticks is that governor talking about running for president? Just straight up overshadowing your dunceness and you being a dun-dun-dun. We need to start putting these people on blast as much as possible. Just like I always say about Mom dummy, na easy super cat, then I use a dumb dummy. Na easy super cat, then I use a dumb dummy. That's right, you guys. Let's get on over. I had to mix it up this morning. And I'm also going to do the, and if I can make it there, I'll make it. Bum, bum. Anywhere, it's up to you. New York, New York. But the problem is, guess what's going to happen? It's called buyer's remorse. That's right. It seems as if the voters are getting the opposite of what they voted for, as the new mayor, Mamdani, threatens to hike up new city property taxes. So how you feeling now? Do you have a little bit of buyer's remorse? Told you so. And I hate that I did have to say it. But yeah, Mamdani, since he can't get the monetary he needs from Albany, can't get the money from the government in Washington because of the, of course, sanctuary city policies. Now, your home taxes gonna skyrocket. And that means landlords' taxes are gonna go up. And what does that mean? Rent increases. So everybody may feel the rumble on this one. And why? What is his other option? He is trying to force Zuckerberg and all of the rich people leaving, going to Miami. Got to be careful about what you're doing, Mom Dami, especially if you never had a job before, buddy.
Crisis that was not created by working and middle-class New Yorkers. It should not be placed on their backs in order for the city to resolve it.
Mayor Zoran Mamdani repeatedly emphasized he does not want to raise property taxes on New Yorkers already struggling to afford their homes, nor dip into the city's rainy day fund.
How is it possible? I'm talking about $3,500, $2,000 for a kitchenette, a little one bedroom, $2,500. And you talking about raising it up? Oh man, got what you wanted, guys. Go for it. And they're going to tell you why, where the money's going to go towards. You're going to be peed off when you hear that part.
He's presenting state leaders with an ultimatum to help him fill the $5.4 billion hole in the city budget.
They're like he in school trying to talk to the teacher, explaining the problem that's on the school board.
Raise taxes on millionaires or corporations, or he'll have no choice but to raise those property taxes. The mayor was asked repeatedly about if New Yorkers would feel betrayed.
We're not talking about free buses. We're talking about dipping into the rainy day fund. We're not talking about taxing millionaires. We're talking about taxing working class people.
Well, I am talking about taxing millionaires. What we need to do is reckon with the structural nature of this and put ourselves back on the kind of footing that allows us to advance an agenda.
The budget gap is mainly due to ballooning rental assistance programs and spending to reduce class sizes in schools. The mayor says he's already working to find savings.
No, he told you where the money gonna go to, but you gotta realize something. They trying to show the little classes with the little kids. We already know what the 3rd and the 4th and the 5th and the 6th grade classes look like, right? Anybody parents here in the state of New York or the city of New York? How many kids in that classroom look like they bringing out a little, I don't know, a little cheerleading squad? There's so many kids in that classroom. Probably about 30 kids when I was in school, 21 kids in the classroom. How you gonna teach that many kids? And like I said, that's when you turn into a nanny, and then what happens? The kids don't learn as much because of the overcrowding.
Throughout city government, but budget observers like the Citizens Budget Commission call a wealth tax versus property tax debate a false choice.
The best option is to dig into the agencies, identify spending that is helping New Yorkers and keep it,
that is not helping New Yorkers and shrink it or eliminating it.
And local leaders who generally support them.
See, somebody said 35, now 40. It's ridiculous. And you know where those other kids are coming from, right? Just like the emergency rooms, they use them like the doctor's office. Oh, you can go in here to see the doctor? Hey, dun-dun-dun, that's the emergency room. You got to get a doctor. Oh, no, no, no. Yeah, now you got a whole bunch of people going in the emergency room and making it all bad for us.
The mayor say a property tax hike is a
Yeah, because you don't like it neither, but you was rocking with him at first. Let's go.
Workers and keep it. That is not helping New Yorkers and shrink it or eliminating it.
And local leaders who generally support the mayor say a property tax hike is a non-starter.
We have to stand up for homeowners, in particular black and brown homeowners, who have always been disproportionately taxed.
Governor Kathy Hochul has worked with the mayor on the budget and is already pledging more than $3 billion to help pay for his child care plans and to stabilize the budget.
The child care plans. Who's part of the child care plans? Because we're a sanctuary city. That means we got to take care of all those kids, right? Yeah, all of the kids. You want me to say it? Or you guys know what I'm talking about, right? We got all sorts of people, kids here, illegal, all sorts. And they have a mandate in New York where you have to go to school. You got to go to school or you got to be in daycare, especially if the parent's working.
She, too, is skeptical of new taxes.
I'm not supportive of property tax increase. I don't know that that's necessary, but let's find out what is really necessary for him to close that gap.
That was the illest word salad that you ever heard in your life. I'm not sure about this, but then we're going to look over here and we're going to see what... That was the illest word salad I ever heard in my life. That's why she is known notoriously as Kathy Jokel Hochul. And the sad part about it is she will be reelected because people are just mad. This city is just gone. I'm talking about out of here.
Mayor says if he has to do this, and again, he says he really does not want to. He's proposing a 9.5% across-the-board property tax increase against 3 million homeowners or property owners and 100,000 commercial properties. The Speaker of the City Council, the council would have to approve this, says this is not on the table right now. She wants to work with the mayor to find savings and efficiencies before a tax hike conversation even begins.
You can't have a person to go in there and try to find savings, because the first thing you need to do is to find savings is what? And it's common sense. Any job I ever went to, what you got to do? You got to take an inventory and accountability of what you have. Okay, cool. This is actually what we have and where it is. Then we go into the condition of it. Okay, can we sell it or do something with it? Okay, that's the second thing, right? And now we start to offset. We offset. We try to integrate some of that monetary loss back into the company, right? But your boy never had the job before. He don't know how to do that. He don't know how to do that. So we're going to keep on moving forward, and we're going to hope and pray that something comes out of this in a positive way. Do your boy a favor, double tap that screen and get those likes up. I really would appreciate it. This is our bottom line. Yes, we're not one-sided over here. No, I'm not a Democrat, not a Republican or an independent. I'm a human being. Made a platform for everybody, because hopefully we can come here and have great conversations and get to the bottom line of stuff. Whoa, bottom line. Oh, that's what that meant. Exactly. Come on now, let's hit that like button. If you have not subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? Become a member. It's only like $2.99. And there's a little bell that you can hit down there. You got to make sure that you hit it and make sure it says notifications on so that you can know when we're here. Let's keep on moving forward, because I can't say that I'm not happy about this situation. And I'm not going to hit him with another blow and, struggling CBS as Anderson Cooper plans to leave 60 Minutes. I'm happy about that. Me and Anderson don't get along. Personally, we got beef. And you know what that means, right? He tries to say it's because he wants to spend more time with his husband and his children. Okay, Anderson, we understand that you want to stay and hang out with your family with the new house that you got, with the new big house that you guys just got over there on 20th. It's all good. I understand. Or the firehouse down the block, because you are a Vanderbilt baby and you probably inherited all of that monetary. So it's not going to really hurt your pockets. But the situation here is they're trying to really overshadow the situation of why Anderson Cooper is actually leaving CBS. They're trying to say, we're going in another direction. Could it be they're going in another direction and not trying to deal with Anderson Cooper anymore. I gotta say, I'm happy to hear about this. I don't feel bad for him at all.
CBS is in turmoil. Yes, in addition to messy lawsuits, infighting and editorial disagreements, the broadcaster is about to lose one of their veterans. Anderson Cooper has announced he will not be renewing his contract with the broadcaster after nearly 20 years. In a statement to the New York Post, he said, "Being a correspondent at 60 Minutes has been one of the great honors of my career. I got to tell amazing stories and work with some of the best producers, editors, and camera crews in the business. For nearly 20 years, I've been able to balance my jobs at CNN and CBS. But I have little kids now and I want to spend as much time with them as possible while they still want to spend time with me."
What about the husband? You know what I'm saying? Don't lie, bro. Talk about it. Be about it. You want to talk about the kids, but how y'all, you know, it's a group thing. Y'all know it's a group thing. Because I already know the situation. Yeah, come on. Chelsea.
Cooper's departure is only the latest in a string of blows for the network since Barry Weiss took over as editor-in-chief after the Paramount Skydance takeover. A Status News report claims that Cooper wasn't aligned with the rightward direction of CBS under Weiss and Paramount CEO David Ellison. He wasn't comfortable with the direction the show was taking under Barry and is in a position where he doesn't have to put up with it, one source told the publication. Cracks started appearing when Weiss made unpopular editorial decisions, such as pulling a segment on El Salvador's CECOT prison from the 60 Minutes lineup right before it was scheduled to air, causing internal backlash between journalists and management. The segment was eventually aired in January of this year.
It began as soon as the planes landed. The deportees thought they were headed from the U.S. back to Venezuela, but instead they were shackled, paraded.
So basically the agenda is changing because they're basically getting a little bit nervous about the news that they're putting out. That's all I can get from that. And Anderson, goodbye, good riddance. Go get an internet show. Maybe you and Don Lemon can pop something off. Same clique. Hey, huh? Exactly. The broken-wristed clique. Don Lemon and who's that, Anderson Cooper? Maybe you guys can get together and go frolic somewhere. Let's get up out of here and keep on moving, you guys. I don't like either one of them. And like I said, I got real beef with Anderson Cooper. I had the nerve to tell me I'm stealing boxes. On my day off, let me stop. It has something to do with that kind of crazy like that, but I don't want to go into it. You guys that been around, you know the story. Let's keep on moving forward because we got a report that I want to know, why is it a bad thing for someone to have ID to report? If you want like ICE to have identification, or if I got to use my driver's license to drive a car, I have to sometimes maybe show identification when I'm using my credit card, when you're going on a plane. So why is it so bad? Why is it so bad that we have to use identification to go vote? Like I said, I was in New York and I'm in New York now. I went to go vote and I'm ready. I'm thinking I'm doing something important. You know, I'm ready to vote, get my sticker and everything. I'm pulling out my ID. Oh no, you don't got it. I'm like, what? That's part of me feeling like I did something, that you guys got my name. Oh, we got your name. Just say your name. Say your name. What is this, Beyonce and the Destiny's Child? Say my name, and you can go and vote. Yeah, because it was just like that. Yeah. Let's keep on moving, you guys. I don't think that this needs to be any longer. I think there needs to be much more stricter policies when it comes down to having ID to vote.
So the Democrats have done it again, throwing the country's security into chaos by partially shutting down the federal government, walking away from a bipartisan deal on DHS funding. Apparently, it's their way or the highway. Democrats have a list of
side with both sides of any side of common sense is who I side with. Lacrosse cowboy. And one thing I don't deal with at all. I'm sorry to tell you. No, matter of fact, I'm not sorry to tell you. Anything that has to do with the broken-wristed clique, I just don't get down with that. And especially because they get a little fingernail, right? That much. And then they stick their whole arm in it, and now they got kids doing crazy stuff in front of, and the trans and all of that doing crazy stuff in front of kids in school. And they got books that they're trying to introduce to the children. Do I really got to go into this right now? Come on.
Of 10 demands for immigration and customs enforcement. But Republicans say it's all performative.
Okay, let's break it down real quick, because again, I'm for some of this stuff and I'm not for some of it. Let's go. Targeted enforcement. Okay, I get that. No masks. I'm not with that. Require ID. I'm not with that. Don't need to have that. You already got a shield and a badge or whatever. That's it. Protect sensitive locations. Depends on the sensitive locations you're talking about. Stop racial profiling. Well, how are we gonna find the people we're trying to get? I'm just messing with you. Okay, what would I feel about the racial profiling? Okay, I would say yes to that. If you ain't got the paperwork on them, leave them alone. Let's keep on moving forward. Uphold use of force standards. Don't even really know what that means. Force standards. I don't know what that means right there. Force standards. Don't know what that means. Let's keep on moving forward. I apologize for that. Ensure state and local coordination and oversight. Well, if you're going to cooperate and not go tell people what's happening so they can get up out of there early, that might work. And if you're going to start handing over, how about hand over to people and a bunch of this stuff won't even need to happen? You see number 7 right there? If you guys would do that together, a lot of this stuff wouldn't even be needed. You wouldn't have to worry about no mask, no ID, none of this stuff. If you guys actually work together and get together on number 7 a little better yourselves, Democrats and Republicans. Yeah, y'all need to get together on that. So let's get on number 8. Build safeguards into the system. I'm always for that. Always for that. Yes, I'm with it, and that's a Democrat ask. So the people that are asking me, I'm answering your question right out. Body cameras for accountability, not tracking. Yep, get them cameras on and turn them on. If you do something wrong, you need to be held accountable. Because guess what? Sometimes people have soldiers and they send them out, and a soldier might do something crazy that's not actually that's not really under the mask of what the actual general wants them to do. All sorts of crazy things, reals naping and pillagers and villages. I can't say those words, but you know what I'm talking about. And yeah, exactly. I'm all good with that. No parliamentary police. What the hell? Why you had to say that? I don't know what the hell you mean by that. I don't know what you mean by that. No parliamentary police. And yes, I don't know what everything means. I'm not a genius over here. I'm just a human being that's trying to make sense of certain stuff. And guess what? You guys can teach me too. What does that other thing mean? And what does number 7 mean? I would love to learn too. Leave it or send me an email about it too. Because guess what? I answer all emails and I follow up. Yes, I admit to not being perfect. That's why I tell you guys, don't follow everything that I tell you to do, because it's just my personal feeling. And we all come together here as friends every day, and we put information out. I don't try to drive you and tell you what to do. You guys just laugh at me for making jokes about certain people, and that's just how we rock. Let's keep on moving forward, you guys. We got to get on over to AOC and her response to questions about China, defense for the DNC, and much, much more. We got to keep on moving forward, you guys, because we got a loaded clip. I told you we had a lot to get into today. We got a lot to get into. Let me get that up out of there, because you keep on trying to come up. Let me clean the plate. Let's go.
Care deeply. Would and should the U.S. actually commit U.S. troops to defend Taiwan?
If you're going to be asked a question, you should be prepared for it. You should know what's going on with foreign and U.S. policy if you're inside of the government and you're a lawmaker, especially if you're someone that's looked at and sought after by so many people. Why did AOC have the huh and the ums and really never answered these questions in front of so many other people? I would be more embarrassed than that, than the answers that she gave. As far as the professionalism about knowing. Like me, I got to get my stuff better. I need to learn better about foreign policy. I don't know if I would have went out there right now if I didn't know what was going on. That's what I'm trying to say. Let's keep on moving forward.
We care deeply. Would and should the U.S. actually commit U.S. troops to defend Taiwan if China were to move?
I think that this is such a, I think that this is this is of course a very long-standing policy of the United States.
I mean, Jose, I don't know. Which side do you want to be on?
Oh, that's a tough one to defend. But I've never, to be fair, I'm a center JFK Democrat, and I've never liked AOC to begin with. But I will tell you, we got to go back to center politics in my party. When we do that, Martha, by the way, we did it in New Jersey, running for governor, we won. We did it in Miami in a mayor's race. We did it in Virginia, we win. So when we go back to the middle and we talk about regular things that Americans care about, like the economy, like immigration, like protecting our borders, we can win. And I think we're starting to do that.
Yes.
I mean, but that's what, you know. I mean, do you? That's not what Rubio is talking about, and I think those are really important things to America. But he's talking about, you know, the backbone of the country, what it was built on, our love for our ancestors, and a large part of the country that came from Europe, and wanting them to. I don't know if Europe can be saved at this point. It might be too late for Europe, Ben. But it's such a clear clarion call.
Yeah, and you go back to, you're going to a security conference. Like, you don't even have to be prepped for this. If you're Gretchen Whitmer, who, by the way, couldn't answer the questions that she was asked either on major issues, and AOC, like, you go there and you know, hey, there's a good chance you're going to be asked about Ukraine and Russia and Iran and Israel, and you're going to be asked about Venezuela or Taiwan and China. There is no prep needed for that. They don't have answers except to say Donald Trump is somehow bad and whatever he's in favor of, I'm against. And I think what you're witnessing here is the world looking at them and going, you guys don't even know how to lead on the foreign stage. You don't have an answer for these serious problems. I go back to remember the 3 a.m. phone call, Hillary Clinton, right? The obsession there. I don't think there's anybody in the Democratic Party right now that can answer the phone at 3 in the afternoon, much less 3 a.m., because they don't understand that when you lead on these issues, you have to lead with a serious foreign policy platform. And Gretchen Whitmer literally asked Donald Trump's ambassador, Matt Whitaker, to answer a question for her, and then said, I can't answer this question as well as AOC because I'm just a governor. That's the leadership of the Democratic Party right now. It's not good.
Yeah.
Woo, boy, they said that she's presidential. They're looking at AOC for a possible presidential run down the line, you guys. Could you guys see AOC as your president? Where that picture at? Could you guys see Miss AOC right there as your president? Maybe let's say about 2030 something, 2020 something, 2040. AOC the president. Oh man, we're gonna be up Ish Creek if that happens. Let's keep on moving forward, you guys. Double tap that screen. Let's go. We got to get that prayer up. Just Jamies, I see you up there. We got you. I got you. Don't worry about it. Get on back over to New York, the Bronx to be exact. And yeah, we're going to get on over to Bay Plaza. How many people ever been over to Bay Plaza, chilled out at the mall? Well, guess what? There was a takeover. Don't know how it went down, but we're starting to get these things happening a lot now. And yeah, multiple teens was taken into custody at the Bay Plaza. Let's get on over to the mall.
This morning, we're learning more details about an apparent teen takeover at the Bay Plaza Mall yesterday. We now know that multiple teens were taken into custody following that chaos. We've got News 12's Brittany Cadet joining us now from the McDonald's in the Bay Plaza area with a look at some of the damage left behind. Good morning, Brittany. I see the caution tape behind you. Walk us through how we got here.
Yeah, Marcy, good morning. I mean, it was a scene straight out of a movie with several teams wreaking havoc inside of the Bay Plaza Mall and outside on the strip of businesses, you know, known to the neighborhood here. Now, that entire chaos spilled onto the businesses here on the sides of the mall. Take a look here, especially at the McDonald's. Like you said, you can see that caution tape here and this gaping hole of shattered glass left here at this McDonald's. Now, this is just one of many of the damages that were left behind when all of these teens were wreaking havoc on several businesses here. Now, hundreds of teens were...
McDonald's, you think it's somewhere to go to Golden Arches. The kids look at it and be like, Mommy, French fries. Teenagers look at it as a spot to meet up at. Yo, let's go to the McDonald's. They had one in Queens where they were selling that La at until Queens Flip went up there and blew the spot up. Sad part about it is the kids, yes, it's nostalgic to go to McDonald's. They actually might go there and grab a burger, but that's not all they're gonna do. They do a lot of other stuff, especially when they start congregating. You have a couple of bad apples, you know what I'm talking about. Next thing you know, they see the guy they got beef with, or the alternate person that they're in another Gills nang. And next thing you know, it's on and popping. And whoever's in the middle, 9 times out of 10, becomes a victim. Yeah, I could tell this story all over again. Back over in Co-op City, you guys in the Bronx, just don't get caught up in the crossfire. So a lot of times when you see things, and older people and a lot of people that are from our cities, even your city, don't even really want to be out like that, especially in the city part of places, because the nightlife and the youth, not like they used to be. That's why they call them YNs now. Let's keep on moving forward. I want to give you guys, bring you up to date by throwing back a little bit. Sometimes you got to do a throwback. It's not Thursday, but we're doing a throwback right now. Anybody ever buy any clothes from Abercrombie and Fitch? You ever see those commercials with the men from Abercrombie and Fitch? There's not too many differences between Jeffrey Epstein and the owners of this of Abercrombie and Fitch. Same way there's not much difference between Les Wexner. You guys notice once they get to these high levels, they start really playing upon the things that they really are about. I want you guys to go back a little bit with me and see what happened with the CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch that trafficked over a dozen, victims in a number 6 trills trafficking and already has been found guilty and is now serving time. Let's keep on moving forward, you guys. Double tap that screen. Exactly. I know ain't nobody really messing with no Abercrombie and Fitch unless you was, in a different price point. Let me just put it like that.
Tonight, the shocking arrest of the man who helped launch Abercrombie & Fitch to must-wear brand status. The accusers numbering more than a dozen. Their allegations horrifying. Here's ABC's senior investigative correspondent, Aaron Katursky.
We're here today to announce the arrest and charging of 3 defendants.
It was a stunning announcement.
Former CEO of Abercrombie & Fitch, Michael Jeffries, Matthew Smith, and James Jacobson.
The former CEO of one of America's most celebrated brands, Abercrombie & Fitch, arrested along with his romantic partner and a business associate.
Their sex trafficking and prostitution enterprise lasted at least from the end of 2008 until early 2015. They spent millions of dollars on a massive infrastructure to support this operation and maintain its secrecy.
Jeffries, who stepped down from Abercrombie in 2014, is
His name is Jeffries too. Another coincidence.
accused by law enforcement of using his power and wealth to traffic and sexually exploit more than a dozen young men around the world, many of them aspiring models. The 16-count indictment includes charges of sex trafficking and prostitution. At the heart of the case, the allegations of 15 John Does.
So it's jaw-dropping and shocking in every twist and turn of his case. We've seen R. Kelly go down on similar charges, and in the Southern District of New York, Sean Combs is facing the exact same charges.
When I saw the charges come down, I said perhaps this is a continuation of the reckoning that I think we are starting to see in this world of arts and entertainment moving forward.
Yeah, I remember these ads. I used to work at Academics, the clothing company. We started that clothing company. And we used to go to other companies and see what they had going on. Higher end companies like Abercrombie. Tell you what designers do. You go get inspiration from other companies. So sometimes you'll take a picture of a shirt, take a picture of a pair of pants, might want to make that pocket on your pair of pants. So we used to frequent that area, that store a lot. One thing I always was very skeptical about with Abercrombie was, how come all of the men were forced almost to have no shirts on? Even when it was an ad for a shirt. I don't get it. I don't know what's going on with that. Now it's starting to make sense. Not only that, a lot of the parties, like I told you, they didn't want me to come. No, we not. I'll be like, all right, cool. And then they be talking about it later up to a certain point. They never let me come to those parties. And I want to thank you, Heavenly Father, for them not letting me go to those parties, because I didn't want to have nothing to do with that.
The arrests are relief to those who have alleged in civil lawsuits they were victimized.
This, what feels like an evil villain, continue to use his power to harm a lot of people. And I don't think he feels bad about it.
To anyone who thinks they can exploit and coerce others by using the so-called casting couch system.
They've been doing it for years, you guys. You heard the casting couch system and the way that they do it in different scales. So models get an agency if you're rich. All you got to do is get a modeling agency, rich man. Put a couple of people on the board. They get a whole bunch of girls in. Boom, and now you got anything that you want. Now you're trading girls with different people doing different things when you get to that level. Notice how that makes sense now? Let's keep on moving forward, you guys. We got to get on over to Washington because just like I said, Hillary is slamming Trump. the administration over the Epstein files, the handling, and she says she dares them to question her behind closed doors. The best thing that they better do is put her on live. She want to be like this right here. She want to be where everybody can see it and see what she got to say.
Out of this story, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton is accusing the Trump administration of a cover-up.
Let's double tap that screen and get those likes up, y'all. Appreciate it.
Clinton's is set to testify later this month as part of the House's probe into the convicted sex offender.
So let's get those numbers up. I really want to make sure that we're getting enough people over here because they constantly asking me, Boogotti, what's going on with the Epstein files? We could be talking about basketball.
Hillary Clinton sat down with our partners at BBC News to speak about the investigation.
Get the files out. They are slow walking it. They are redacting the names of men who are in it. They are stonewalling legitimate requests from members of Congress. That has nothing to do with us. Something is going on. They know it. I know it. If they're
What do you know?
going to have me testify, I would prefer to do it in public because I want everybody to see it at the same time. If I have to do it behind closed doors, they're not going to like what I have to say because I have very strong opinions about what it is they're hiding and who they are protecting.
CBS News correspondent Natalie Brand joins us from the White House with more on this. Natalie, the former Secretary Clinton there seems to be coming out swinging, not holding anything back. How is the White House responding?
Yeah, President Trump was asked about this interview on Air Force One while returning to Washington, D.C.
So we got Clinton hanging out with this dude on 27-something flights. You got money going to the Clinton organization. You got the same shirt clique. They rocking the same shirt sometimes. Like, you mean to tell me they ain't got nothing to talk about? Oh, yeah, all right. That's pot calling the kettle black, if anything. Let's keep on going, y'all.
Last night, and he argued that he's been totally exonerated by the release of the files. Take a listen to more of what he had to say.
I have nothing to hide. I've been exonerated. I have nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. They went in hoping that they'd find it and found just the opposite.
Found just the opposite. We've been reporting that all week and all month, but sometimes they don't want to report it, you guys. They don't want to put it out there. And yes, let's keep on moving forward because now the Epstein files names live. The GOP lawmakers, they reveal some chilling details and details that the DOJ is about spills lying, Epstein, list, minors, and more. To me, you guys, this is probably going to be one of the most serious parts of our show right now. I want you guys to see what's going on right here because what Nancy May starts to say about the ages of these kids, and I'm not even playing around no more. There's no kids when it comes down to 12 and 11. She starts to corroborate other information that's pretty crazy. Again, I'm really trying to get this information out. All you got to do is double tap that screen and get those likes up. It gets much more people over here that really want to know what's going on with this. Check this out right here. I want you guys to see what she has to say. Very important information right here. Woo! Mic drop.
We're predators too. Some of the other documents that I uncovered and read through were really the harrowing details of 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds that were recruited by Epstein, that were groomed by Epstein.
And then I got to do it real quick, you guys, because I got to put it out there. Remember how they said that a lot of parents were around, and then somebody last week said, yeah, well, we were on the island, but somebody was there with us. I was there with my family. You know, my daughter was there. We went to eat. And then 2 weeks ago, Fergie had reported that she went to meet up with Jeffrey Epstein and she brought both her teenage daughters. And then one nasty comment that she said about she was shagging. And then Paris Hilton, because I'm going there, her father being at the top of the echelon, being around parties together and stuff like that. Y'all ain't gonna believe this right here.
Not only were they raped and sexually assaulted, they were then paid to recruit other girls to come into the trafficking ring. And we're talking a 14-year-old child. There were parents that allegedly would travel with their underage daughter to places like New York, to places like Palm Beach, to lend out their teenage daughter to Jeffrey Epstein and his business partners. So when you read that, it's really, it's shocking. I read this morning in some of these files that were printed out. I have a huge stack of files. I couldn't even bring all of them with me to South.
Now again, you see why I always say double tap the screen, because it gets more people over here. You double tap it. YouTube's like, what's going on over there? Let's send up a signal. Then a lot of people come over and they get to see that. So whoever y'all brought over, I'm sure they appreciate you right now for double tapping.
South Carolina today, because there was too many that I had printed off that I want to research, and then I'm going back to the DOJ to spend more time there. I'm probably the last person that should have been given access to the Epstein files, because if there's one person who can get to the bottom of this, it will be me. If I spend the next 10 months doing this, that's what I'm going to do. But there was an event with several Hollywood celebrities that the Epstein group was trying to rent out a venue to do a movie showing with these Hollywood celebrities long after he was convicted and served time in prison for being a pedophile. And so when I would see this, these are names everybody knows. These are movie stars. These are media pundits. These are billionaires. It's really unbelievable, and it's shocking what has gone on here. The other thing that's shocking is that the DOJ hasn't made a single arrest of anybody else except for, save for, one accomplice. And we all know that is not humanly possible. You can't have thousands of victims and only one accomplice. Somebody drove the car, somebody flew the planes, somebody opened the door, someone was the housekeeper. All these properties, there were witnesses. And then there were other cases of some of these billionaires who were allegedly involved in the sex trafficking operation that were paying money in settlement agreements, in civil settlement agreements, monies to other countries. I read a document this morning with Leon Block's name in it, allegedly, that paid off women in settlements for allegedly being sexually assaulted. So,
okay, and I know you guys want it. And again, I say the same thing over here, allegedly. Let's go. We got it. Epstein files. Names live. GOP lawmaker reveals chilling details on DOJ spying and the Epstein list. It's from Hook Global. That's the name of the channel. We love to share subscriptions, and we love to share other platforms. And we don't just go jack you for your content. We appreciate you, and that's why we big you up over here. Let's keep on moving forward, you guys. But I wanted you to know, I want to know, what do you guys think about that? Where are the arrests? She's part of the plan too. Y'all beware of these people. How do parents lend their children to Epstein? What are you trying to do? Look like a black Joel Osteen. No, I'm sorry, that's whack. You might get up out of here, stay on topic, but that was, you tried. That's your boy. That's your boy. She serves the elite. Your style is great, man. Thank you so much, and I appreciate people like you, Alex, that know this is the work that we put in over here. I appreciate you, good brother. Walls come tumbling down. Yes, yeah, there we go, y'all. That right there, it really substantiated a lot of my thoughts when I saw that. I'm like, yo, why would Paris Hilton and her father be at the, and then how come all of a sudden, like, they talking about their parents was there, and I'm gonna go there. Hell with it. Let's go there. Howard Lutnick, last week, you said you met with Jeffrey Epstein on the beach, right? And you said my wife and children was there, in a sense of it being, whereas nothing could have happened because my wife and children were there. Now, I don't got a mic in my hand, but y'all know what I'm trying to say right now. Let's keep on moving forward. We going there. Let's get it. Epstein files. DOJ names Elvis. For the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get ready. Now go, cat, go. Now don't you step on my blue suede shoes. You can do anything but lay off of my blue suede shoes. You can knock me down, spit in my face, write my name all over the place. Yeah, his name is in there too. But you know what that means, right? That's how you muddy the waters. You add all these other names. So it's like, come on now, Mr. Spock is in here. Y'all can't be serious right now. Quagmire, I don't believe nothing. That's why they muddy the deck sometimes. Don't let people trick you, guys. Trust me. Sometimes they got different ways, like they said, to get at you. Just so you guys know, I did a little bit of homework. Those jewels equate to about 1 cent. I appreciate them, but yeah, that's what they equate to. I just wanted to know what they were, what they cost. But and if I'm wrong, Let me know. Double tap that screen. Let's get those likes up. And maybe if that's why my hand is scratching. My mother said, boy, that's superstitious. You're going to make some money. Stop scratching your hand and put it in your pocket. Be walking around the house like this. Okay, Ma, how long am I supposed to keep my hand in my pocket? Let's keep on moving forward because it's not a joking time right now. Epstein, DOJ, and exactly like I said, they're trying to stack the deck right now, and they're trying to basically make it seem as if there's just like an overwhelming amount of people and just throw all of these names out, throw all of these names and see what sticks.
There is new bipartisan frustration in Congress after the Justice Department sent a list of, quote, politically exposed persons.
And can you explain what their affiliations are? I mean, come on now, just a list?
In the millions of files related to its probes of Jeffrey Epstein. That list includes many prominent figures who appear in the files without any context,
Thank
like
you so much,
Janis
Kristen.
Joplin and Pope John Paul II. No one name besides Epstein and his accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell has ever been charged in connection with Epstein's crimes. Several lawmakers argue the Justice Department is intentionally muddying the waters on who was a predator versus someone simply mentioned in an email or perhaps an article.
Billionaire Tom Pritzker is stepping down as executive chairman of Hyatt Hotels over his ties to Jeffrey Epstein, saying he regrets his association with Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell.
I want to ask a quick question, and you guys can tell me if I'm wrong or not. Should we cancel them? Thank you so much, Jordan, for the 500 jewels. I appreciate that. I don't know, but I had to go look it up just to see. Oh, you guys, you know I love you, but sometimes I just got to call it like it is. You guys, all of a sudden now, the Hyatt, the CEO wants to step down. Should we boycott the Hyatt? Should we not go there anymore? Is there something that the Me Too program should start doing? What's going on here? We need to get behind the situation here. Like, what's going on? Oh, we finding out about these people. Why are there not people outside picketing? Don't be at the Hyatt. Get out of here. What's going on with that? It's not supposed to just be where they're like quitting and like leaving. The company's still going to stay intact.
Meanwhile, the Justice Department sent a weekend letter to Congress listing hundreds of prominent people listed in the Epstein files. But there's a but, and it's a big one. Being mentioned doesn't necessarily mean anything. Elvis Presley is in there, and he died almost 50 years ago, which raises questions about why DOJ sent this 6-page letter that you saw with scores of prominent names. Yes, there are some presidents, business leaders, government officials who have been well documented in their ties to the convicted sex offender.
Y'all do me a favor, because yes, we're peeling the onion back, and what we're about over here is common sense. I hope you guys really realize it at this point. We're not a part of no party, and if we are, we sound like we lean towards one, maybe because if I was a pendulum and I leaned towards common sense, that's how it would be. How about that? I just lean towards common sense. If that's common sense, that's where I lean towards. And it doesn't have to be any party. You could come up to me and be like, hey, Bugatti, water's wet. Boom, common sense. I believe you, because it's common sense. Let's keep on moving forward, you guys. That's it. You got to keep on moving forward, because New Mexico, they approved the probe into the Epstein Zoro Ranch. What's coming down the line, you guys? Because you know what they say is out there, right? Huh? At Zoro Ranch in New Mexico. You know what they say is out there, and what people are saying that they need to do as far as like digging up some,
New Mexico lawmakers on Monday passed legislation to launch a full investigation into what happened at Jeffrey Epstein's Zoro Ranch. The ranch, located about 30 miles south of Santa Fe, is where the late U.S. sex offender is accused of trafficking and sexually assaulting girls and women. The so-called Truth Commission seeks to identify ranch guests and state officials who may have known what was going on at the 7,600-acre property or taken part in alleged sexual abuse. It seeks testimony from survivors, and legislators are also urging local residents to testify. The Justice Department released millions of Epstein-related files that shed new light on activities at the ranch. The files revealed ties between Epstein and 2 former Democratic governors and an Attorney General of New Mexico. Several civil suits accuse Epstein of sexually assaulting girls at Zoro Ranch, locally known as the Playboy Ranch. He was never charged for the alleged offenses. Sigrid McCauley, whose law firm has represented hundreds of Epstein survivors, applauded the move, saying Zoro Ranch had been overlooked by federal investigations.
It has been.
Many of the survivors had experiences in New Mexico, and as we've learned, there were local politicians and other people that were aware of what was happening in New Mexico. So it's really important that at this point in time, a closer look is taken with respect to that property.
The U.S. Department of Justice passed a request for comment to the FBI. The FBI declined to comment.
And I'm gonna say it. They saying that there's two. Oh, see what happened, you guys? I faked like I was Elvis, and we talked about this yesterday. I was playing around like I was Elvis, right? Remember that, right? Just playing around. And look what pops up on the screen. You see how they mess around with you in the algorithm? Not only that, but because I'm actually in the algorithm, because I had to realize something. Bugatti, yeah, you're talking to your phone, but they're looking at their phone. So you're actually part of this. I was like, I had to think about that. So when I start moving and doing certain stuff, when it cuts off, it's actually part of YouTube doing that. And yeah, it lets me know that I'm kind of like Max Headroom right now. Remember Max Headroom? I got a head just like him. Those are the jokes you guys need to be making. Mac Tonight, Man in the Moon from McDonald's. Go for it with jokes like that. All of the regular ones, it ain't gonna work. I need to have some real customized head jokes. Let's keep on moving forward, you guys. Exactly, that's right, you guys. Let's get on over to London, because Andrew, the Prince, it was funny right there. He's got some serious problems, and what I told you guys about, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna say the Prince anymore. He's the artist, no, he's the brother formerly known as Prince Andrew. So now he's Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, who could wind up what? Something that we haven't done today so much. You know where we're going with that, right? Watch your head. Now, if Andrew winds up taking this ride right here, I would have to say that this is the worst ride of anybody ever in existence. Because you came from royalty, a place where no other human being possibly would never be able to touch, and you wind up in back of that car, just like every other person with them silver bracelets on, and you looking around at the lady outside like, boy, I wish I was her. And you're looking at the dog like, damn, at this point, I wish I was you, Fido. But no, you chose to do nonsense. And yeah, you had a problem. Yeah, now look what's happened. So now, look what's gonna happen. I think they're gonna keep on chipping away, and I think the king is pulling away and giving them up as like a sacrificial lamb. That's why he stripped them down. Not only that, they're not comfortable with the fact that they feel like that he did not get enough. They feel like that he did not get enough of, enough. He needs to come to the United States and be questioned. He needs to come forward for what his alleged crimes are, if any.
Let's move on to royal news, because there are, of course, now growing calls for the former prince, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor's time as trade envoy to be investigated for possible corruption. This is after these newly released Epstein files accused the former prince of forwarding government documents to Jeffrey Epstein. Angela, can you bring us up to speed on that?
Yeah, so of course the focus up to date has been on Andrew and what he did with young women in America. Now the focus has turned, because of course these Epstein's files, it's just like you go deeper and deeper, there's just layers of sediment in this. And so the new revelations have been that of course he became a trade envoy after he left the Navy. He was appointed by the Tony Blair government, and this was his role, despite the fact the king didn't want him to do it. What we're seeing now is allegations and coming through the Epstein files that he was actually sharing this privileged information, information around itineraries, business deals with Epstein, things that could have had an impact on national security. Now,
remember this photo.
While the British police have not yet confirmed that they are going to launch a criminal investigation, they're certainly looking into it. The implications of this, of course, is that if he is charged for misconduct in public office, that could potentially come with a prison sentence. Wow. So huge. There's still pressure on him from America, though, for him to speak to Congress. And I think that's going to get stronger, because the king, of course, is visiting the US for a state visit in April. William is going there in July for the bicentenary celebrations. So when they are in America, that pressure, because that's of course where most of Epstein's victims live, is going to be enormous. So how the palace handles this, there's still a lot to run on the story.
Absolutely.
Oh boy, like I said, they're gonna step back away from him, and if Charles is sick, only people that's there to really step up is gonna be William, and guess what? William has already wiped his hands of him. Anybody remember the pictures? How about the other pictures with you know who? Megan and Andrew. And she was the little groupie on the boat before he even hooked up with her. So I know that's another situation that's not gonna go too good. They don't even get along. I heard that he punched Andrew in the face, allegedly. Let's keep on going forward, you guys. Let's go. We got to get on over to this. This is about the picture, the photo that you just saw. Not only have they followed up with this photo to show that the picture is real, but this photo was taken by one of Jeffrey Epstein's aides, one of his workers that were working with Prince Andrew. And they sent it back to Jeffrey Epstein to prove that Andrew was there, he was having a good time. Not only that, but isn't this a good compromising position to send this back to your boss? You might get a bonus for a picture like this if you send this back to your boss, right? Because we knew what Epstein was about, blackmail allegedly. Let's keep on moving forward, you guys. Let's go. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor has further shamed the royal family with the former prince's aide sending pictures to Jeffrey Epstein. According to the Australian, Andrew met with a model in China during a taxpayer-funded trip when aides sent photos of the pair to the pedophile. So Jeffrey Epstein hooked him up with a girl when he was out there. And they got pictures of them together. Now, following the release of the Epstein files, Andrew's communications with Epstein have continued to expose the ex-prince's relationship with the pedophile. The pedo. Emails uncovered that in the files reveal that Andrew allowed Epstein to arrange meetings on his behalf while serving the public. One uncovered email sent by Andrew's fixer aide, David Stern, to Epstein showed the ex-prince with Chinese actress Mia Muku. So he was happy about hooking that up for him. The email read, "We have dinner on Sunday in Beijing with this P and this P used as a derogatory term to describe the young women." You know what they mean by the P's, right? Let's go. These are the photos. Another picture unearthed in the file shows Andrew seemingly unaware that he was photographed with another young woman. Saw these yesterday. According to the Australian, emails between Stern and Andrew were repeatedly forwarded to Epstein. And again, it goes right along with what I'm saying. He was stacking information on people just in case he needed to use it in the future, putting you in compromising positions, and that would be a perfect position to have somebody in if you're ever going to need to use it against them for blackmail down the line. Let's get on over for that topic. Thank you. I hope you guys got enough of the Epstein files for today. We got to get back over across pond to New York. I'm sorry, Texas. Houston, that is. Got a serious, sad situation where the son of an HCSO sergeant pow-powed many times, actually 9 times. He didn't make it. In front of a Chipotle. The suspect has been arrested. Also, seems to be his father or his parents have something to do with law enforcement. Let's keep on moving forward, you guys. Let's get on over to Houston. And what we're looking at right now is the individual in the pink sweatsuit. right there behind the pole. Let's go.
Shocking act of violence in downtown Houston. A man shot as many as 9 times on a crowded sidewalk in broad daylight. And now we're learning the victim is the son of a sergeant in the Harris County Sheriff's Office. The violence erupting around 5 p.m. Saturday outside of Chipotle on Texas Avenue near Maine, close to the Rice Hotel. A witness tells ABC 13's Jessica Willie the shooter was selling cookies before things took a dark turn.
The suspect lists a cookie business in court records as his employer, and that's what witnesses say he was doing here on these sidewalks when this happened. The victim, Curtis Moore, delivered food here in the downtown area, they say, and was a familiar face to those who work nearby. He is also the son of a Harris County Sheriff's Office sergeant. The department confirming to me that they are supporting his family at this time. Police investigators don't believe the two knew each other, that the suspect may have just taken issue with how the victim looked at him. On the corner of Texas and Maine on Valentine's Day afternoon, a verbal confrontation that escalated. In video shared with Eyewitness News, you can see the victim on a bike pulling up to the Chipotle on the corner. There's some sort of verbal exchange before the shooter, wearing all pink, pulls a gun. ABC 13 pausing the video before the gunfire.
Individual shot in the stomach.
Youston police quickly responded, arresting the suspect.
1710 noted suspect in custody.
Identified in court records as 21-year-old Nicholas Youngblood. Records state he shot at the victim 9 times. Youngblood, who has a mugshot on file from when he was a juvenile, has been charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, a charge that could be upgraded if the victim dies from his injuries. Prosecutors don't want him released from jail on bond, a decision that won't be made until he goes to court on Tuesday. Jessica Willie, ABC 13, Eyewitness News.
Hopefully this person makes it out. They said he was out there selling cookies. It looks like there was some sort of confrontation that was about to happen. And as soon as he went to approach, pow, pow. Still want to pray for the individual. Hopefully he comes out of this and he doesn't lose his life. And the person that did this, I do still believe that they need, some sort of discipline in this act. But I definitely want to pray that the person that got pow-powed does not lose their life. And we pray for their family and anybody that's dealing with this situation as well. Amen, you guys. Too much going on out there. Everything is solved like this. And what's crazy is it's like Grand Theft Auto now. The video game, it's all like simulation and mods. And people are just getting off the game and going out in the streets and acting up. Let's keep on moving, you guys. We got to go on over to our Trump administration. It's cracking down on illegal truckers. Finally, we back on it, you guys. We had this story come up like, 3 months ago when it came down to these illegal truckers doing all of this crazy crashes and getting into all these accidents and stuff. Well, finally, they're cracking down.
President Donald Trump's immigration crackdown is now driving foreign-born truckers off the road. You were telling me you used to see 50 or so foreign-born students every year, and this year, how many would you say you've seen?
Probably since the new administration, maybe 10.
Disrupting an industry that's increasingly dependent on foreign labor.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
ICE agents now showing up at truck wait stations as the Trump administration limits visa.
I don't understand how you try to swing that and say disrupting something. No, you're adding safety precautions to the road for American citizens and families. And if you need to hire some people, hire the right people to drive the trucks, because those trucks are dangerous.
That's for truckers. Thousands of drivers taken out of service by the Department of Transportation for failing to meet federal English language requirements, according to Secretary Sean Duffy. And shippers say they're struggling to find drivers to take certain routes. Trump administration officials say the crackdown's necessary to make the roads safer after several high-profile accidents involving immigrant truck drivers this year, like this high-speed collision on a highway in California.
So you mean just because we don't have that many truck drivers, we should let this happen? No, again, common sense. Common sense.
Homeland Security officials say an undocumented truck driver caused a deadly crash.
Can't even read
3 people
road
were
signs.
killed
Exactly.
in this incident in Florida, where another undocumented truck driver, according to DHS, tried to make a U-turn on a turnpike, also killing 3.
You have, illegals coming in, basically getting signed off on by the driving school, and then they go to the DMV and they get a license and they hit the road. They have no training.
The Trump administration's policies have started to have a chilling effect across the trucking industry. At driving schools like this one in the Washington, D.C. area, they say they have seen a drop-off in foreign-born students. And their former graduates say they're worried about getting caught up in some of these immigration crackdowns, avoiding taking jobs out of state or staying off the highway, even if they are in the U.S. legally and have all the required paperwork.
You've seen a drop-off this year.
Oh, dramatically.
English proficiency is already required to get a commercial driver's license, or CDL, but the White House is pushing for better enforcement. Transportation Secretary Duffy also announced new restrictions, so only certain visa holders could get CDLs. That move still in legal limbo.
I support this move, and it wasn't that many truck drivers before. I think that they probably should raise the pay for truck drivers, send them through more technical classes for safety on the roads. Also start to give them like better lanes and things like that, working on the roads. Anything to support safety and saving the people is what I'm all for. It's common sense. Again, real talk, you guys. Let's double tap that screen. Get those likes up. I told you you're going to like these stories we got today. We keep on going. We keep on cooking. But I'm going to need you to hit that like button or subscribe. Become a member. Hit that notification bell down there so that you know we're on. Got to keep on moving forward right now because we got a situation where the National Guard is under question. Kind of similar to what I said earlier. Just because you're the boss and you send one of your workers out, that doesn't mean that what that worker does is what you stand behind. And a lot of times that's within every different aspect, within National Guard, within the police force, within the owning a bodega. It's just like that. A lot of times the employee or the person does not normally represent the overall establishment. Let's get on over to Louisiana. Perfect example sometimes where we got National Guard's guys that are questioning someone, and they were kind of warned that the guy has cerebral palsy, but still got a bit rough with him. I want to know what you guys think about this situation. On one hand, I'm thinking, why did he keep on approaching them and bothering them? And on the other hand, I'm thinking, they didn't have to do him that way. Let's keep on moving forward, you guys. I want you guys to tell me what you think about this National Guard situation right here. Because right afterward, their sergeant or their higher rank came over and disciplined about the situation and told them a better way that they could handle it.
At about 7 o'clock Sunday morning, as crews cleaned up from a busy Mardi Gras weekend on Bourbon Street, video shows National Guard soldiers shoving a man to the ground. To understand what happened, we watched and listened to more than a half hour of video, both leading up to and after the incident. So this is EarthCam New Orleans. It shoots from inside Cat's Meow at the corner of St. Peter and Bourbon Streets. It streams live 24/7 on the internet. And most of this incident was captured by the EarthCam right here at this corner, but some of the incident happened further up St. Peter and was not visible on camera. Here's what we know. 3 members of the Louisiana National Guard were standing at the corner of Bourbon and St. Peter's Streets when Rob Carrozza, owner of the High Grace Bar, came over to offer his support. Then we see one guardsman turn to look at someone further up St. Peter's Street. And that's when Carrozza explains he thinks the man has cerebral palsy, a childhood neurological disorder that often causes brain damage and spasticity.
He said he's not drunk, he literally has cerebral palsy.
A couple minutes later, that man walks into the view of the camera and up to the guard members. For a while, they listen, silently, hands in their pockets. But as the man gets more animated, one guardsman with the name Epstein on his hat tells the man to step back. That appears to set him off.
I was here before you were. You walked up on me.
He said, I was here before you were. You walked up on me. That's not true.
After 2 minutes of arguing, 2 of the guard members turn away, but Epperson keeps engaging with the man, repeatedly telling him to step back. 3 more guardsmen walk up with snacks, and Epperson starts pointing in the man's face. The man starts flailing his arms wildly, and the guardsmen start putting on gloves.
You know what's
And
about to
that's when a
happen.
guardsman with the name Tony on his hat steps in. The man gets back up, and over the next 2 minutes, the guardsmen keep engaging with him as he flails and yells. Then Epperson grabs the man from behind, and another guardsman helps him throw the man face down into a pile of garbage. Carosa, the bar owner, told us he doesn't actually know who the man is, but warned the guardsmen about cerebral palsy so they would be gentle with him. Then we showed him the video.
I don't think that they were malicious in intent, but after watching the video, it was not great.
Yeah, what was your reaction when we showed you the video?
To be fair, even if he was a...
I think it was a man with cerebral palsy being an asshole, and he got what he deserved with cerebral palsy. Sorry, guys.
sound mind and body, even if he was drunk, it was a lot of people for one guy. So not the best look. I mean, like I said, I support police, National Guard, everybody, but it was an overreach.
We kept watching the video, and about 10 minutes after the incident, a supervisor arrives and appears to suggest the guardsman could have handled things differently.
If you can't de-escalate, go that way.
State Representative Mandy Landry said the incident raises concerns.
He said if you can't de-escalate, go that way or that way. Now, if he starts following you, that's a whole nother situation. I don't know, you guys, I don't know. Hard one to call over there. I don't want you guys to get mad at me. Look, you're an asshole by saying he deserved it. I knew I was going to have a couple of people that's mad, but you can be a mod. I mean, you can be a bot, so whatever. I don't know. It happens, and I'm not perfect. Sometimes I might think the wrong way too. Getting all up in my face and flailing, I might think to react. But again, don't do what I would do. I'm not trying to tell you guys how to react. Do what you would do. Just keep on moving forward, you guys, because got to keep on moving forward to a real creep that you have no idea distinguishing what he's about. We got to get on over to Florida. Allegedly, a band teacher has been accused of an inappropriate relationship with more than one student. Let's keep on moving forward, you guys, and double tap that screen to get those likes. I want you to see what's going on over here. Check this out. No, not that one, this one. Yeah, right there.
Award-winning musician and band teacher is now in the spotlight after police say that he inappropriately touched his students at Alonzo and Tracy Morning Senior High School.
Yeah, records show that teacher would befriend the students and even give them nicotine vapes, pens. Now, Christian Colon has the story.
On social media, Jose Montez promotes himself as an award-winning bass player. He also appears to spend his time teaching the future generations about music. But now he is in the spotlight for allegedly forming inappropriate relationships with 3 students at Alonzo and Tracy Morning Senior High School.
He has 2 counts of offenses against students by authoritative figure.
The 40-year-old was arrested on Friday after 3 teens told police he befriended them and inappropriately touched 2 of them inside a classroom. All 3 teens said Montez talked to them about their personal and sexual relationships.
Counts 5, 6, and 7.
And he gave them all vape pens.
Are contributing to the delinquency of a minor.
Police say it also got physical.
Tennessee.
A 16-year-old girl told police Montez grabbed her by the waist against her will inside the school, touched her face, and kissed her on the lips twice. That same teen also claims Montez requested a kiss in exchange for a vape pen.
He has a wife and a small child that he would need to provide for, and that would allow him.
You have a wife and child, and these allegations are pretty serious. I think it's going to end up in divorce court.
Montez allegedly told police he provided.
He said wife and child. With these allegations, if we find out that they're real, he might wind up in divorce court.
A safe space for several girls to share details about their lives. Meanwhile, police say on top of touching the teens, he would even give them nicotine and THC vape pens.
Ma'am, do you know what the charges are against your husband?
Señora, ¿usted sabe cuáles son los cargos que está enfrentando su esposo?
Sí.
Yes.
Is he welcome back in your home?
Yes.
Your choice.
In court, Montez.
He said, is he welcome back in the home? She said, C, yes.
His wife requested for a judge to let her husband, a key provider, to come home. Records show Montez told police his actions were inappropriate and said he apologized to some of his students.
And back here live, that judge did allow Montez to go home under house arrest. And tonight we are hearing from the district in a statement. They tell NBC6 they have initiated employment termination proceedings. They also say they will ensure that he is precluded from seeking any future jobs at the district.
So how the hell they gonna let him out talking about he gotta go take care of his family because he need to work? Meanwhile, y'all already knew that this fool was gonna be getting fired. Well, they're not going to let that man go. So, oh, he needs to take care of his wife and family. His wife and family. He should have been thinking about that when he was messing with them children and putting his hands on them. He needed to be still locked up and not even let out. If I had a chance to say anything about it, do your boy a favor. Double tap that screen. Let's get those likes up. I really love to get stories like this out because we never know. Music teacher. The other day it was the coach. 2 days ago it was the sheriff that got caught. Remember that sheriff yesterday, the sheriff deputy that tried to roll up on the 14-year-old and they caught him? We need to get stories out here like that. And these stories can actually help. I'm going to just go there. These stories can actually help. And it helps you stay out of beef with your kids. Oh, Mom, you always saying that. Oh, you always saying this. Okay, well, guess what? I'm going to show you this video right here. And this is me and you. We're going to sit down and I'm going to let you see why I'm always the way that I am. Why I always do this? Because I love you. Let me show you. And then when you do it that way, they ain't got no other choice but to get it. They got to understand where you're coming from. It's a place to love, and you're not making it where I can't talk to mom or I can't talk to dad. Think about it if you was a kid. You want to make ways that you can bridge the gap so that they'll come to you and tell you stuff. Sometimes you might have to do something like that. Next thing you know, they be telling you, well, Mommy, guess what? Blah, blah, blah. You'd be like, what? Ready to, yeah. Mother's or father's instinct, I'm telling you. Notice how the mayor, you got to get on over to Chicago. Let's get on over to Chicago real quick. Let me see something with this situation here. Yes, I want to pray for the victims in this situation, that they can get through this tragedy and this nasty event. Hopefully they can still have their youth in front of them and not have to dealing with crazy stuff like this, and they can get over it and move forward, because this is the prime years of their lives when they're dealing with this. And the sad part about it is it's in a place where they're going to get knowledge, to learn something, and they should not have learned anything that allegedly that their teacher was teaching. Amen. Let's keep on moving forward. Chicago. Notice how the mayor always likes to gaslight. This is not a curse. Negro. If somebody say, Negro, please, it's not a curse. But some people try to make it a curse. Check out how Brandon Johnson tried to flip it into a C word, especially when he was getting roasted by one of our favorites. Let's keep it moving, you guys. Double tap that screen. Chicago, we got your back over here.
Up there and said, you will not allow Trump to come in here and get these illegals. Yeah, you can smile. We're in $1 billion deficit. And you spent half of our money, half of that on illegals. You campaign and double down that you would not raise property taxes.
I won't raise your property taxes.
You wanted to raise our taxes $300 million. They shut it down. Now we back here for $150 million. Okay. See, this is what we asking now. Since you want to crash out, some of y'all say y'all willing to go to jail for it. Trump, Tom Homan, make an example out this Negro right here first. Please come here first, because you know what? We're going to help you. We want to forensic.
Ma'am, I would ask that you keep your, hold on a second, stop her time. Stop her time. Just a second. Stop her time. Ma'am, I would ask that you, if you want to continue speaking, you have to make sure that your language is appropriate, okay?
Negro, not a curse. You was getting roasted and you tried to shut her down because of that.
All right.
We don't out it.
Okay, you can begin her time again.
You're going to spend our tax dollars to go, Michael Wild Reed, you said to take Trump to court. to protect these illegals. That's cool because we about to make all of y'all aldermen famous. Y'all think this has gonna rat? I think not.
Yeah, I remember that one. That's why I gotta give props. I love to see Brandon Johnson squirm. So sometimes I just bring up stuff like that for no reason. Exactly. That's right. Chicago, we with you, Chicago. We know and we understand what's going on. What's his approval rating right now? Probably 16%. Y'all need to get rid of him already. And your boy, I would gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger that you give me today. Mr. Pritzker. Oh my God, what they call him? What was his name off of Popeye? I'm sorry, but that is who your governor is. I will gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger that you give us today. Let's keep on moving forward, you guys. Wimpy, that's right, Wimpy. Let's get on over to Governor DeSantis, who does not play. That's why I guess a lot of people moving over to Florida all of a sudden now, especially when it come down to trying to do something crazy to one of the citizens. He had no hesitation in signing in the Dill's Neff warrant for the Florida. Convicted iller. That's right, convicted of illing Denise Amber Lee. I like to put stories out about stuff like this because you guys forgot about Virginia Amber Lee and you forgot about what this person did. I'm not that kind of person. When it's your time and when it's time to do it, oh no, I'm going to let you know because guess what? Her family probably finally happy now.
18 years after a Northport mother and wife was kidnapped, raped, and murdered, Governor DeSantis signed off on the death warrant for her killer, Michael King, on Friday. The murder of Denise Amber Lee has long been called preventable, and it spurred real change to 911 operations across Florida. Fox 13's Jennifer Vaglis is in our newsroom now. And Jennifer, you spoke with Denise's oldest son today. What did he tell you?
Chris, Noah Lee, who now lives in Englewood, says it was news that brought both joy and pain. On one hand, rehashing everything that's happened since that day in 2008, but also it brings his family some much-needed closure.
It makes every good thing that happens, like all these milestones, just a little bit harder than it should be.
20-year-old Noah Lee doesn't remember much about his mom. What he can recollect, the moments she couldn't be there for.
Like when I played football, I look out in the stands, I see my dad, I don't see my mom.
In January 2008, Noah was just 2 years old when his mom, 21-year-old Denise Amber Lee, was abducted from their Northport home in Sarasota County by Michael King, an unemployed plumber. Multiple calls were made to 911, including by Denise herself on King's phone, and by another woman who saw them on the road and heard Denise's screams and hand banging on the window from the back seat of King's car. But her call was routed to Charlotte County's 911 dispatch and was written down on paper. King was later found guilty by a jury of kidnapping, raping, and murdering her, and was sentenced to death in 2009. Denise left behind Noah, his younger brother Adam, and their father, Denise's husband, Nathan.
We all survived it together. We all pushed through, and we all miss her.
Friday was news the family prayed for. A death warrant for King, signed off by Governor DeSantis, setting his execution date on March 17th by lethal injection.
It's a sad topic, but, I think that was great news for everyone in my family.
It's a little bit of closure and a reminder how far they've come. Not long after Denise was killed, Nathan established the Denise Amber Lee Foundation to help agencies across the nation better their 911 protocol.
We have our own conferences now. I think this is either the third or fourth year.
And in 2010, Nathan helped pass the Denise Amber Lee Act in Florida, requiring at least 208 hours of training for 911 operator certifications and recertifications.
She didn't get to die in vain.
Now, in February 2012, King's case was brought to the Florida Supreme Court, who affirmed his conviction and sentencing. Again, he will be executed by lethal injection on March 17th at the Florida State Prison as the fourth death warrant of the year.
Oh, good birthday gift for me. You guys, I know y'all know it. Next month on St. Patrick's Day, that's March 17th, and it's also my birthday. So I get a double whammy gift. I get to know about this, and I get my birthday. Beautiful. I want to pray for Amber Lee's family. I want to pray for her son Noah, that all great things come to you, son. I want to let you know that mom is up there looking over you. And trust me, you don't think that she's there when you're playing football, but believe me, she's there in every moment. When I lost my mother, I felt the same way. And it's hard for me to look in mirrors. You know why? Because I look just like her. But you know what I started doing? I started looking in those mirrors, especially when I want to see my mother, because she's in there. Amen. Love you guys. That's right, you guys. Let's keep on moving forward. We got this U.S. postal worker who was pow-powed over 200, and who was pow-powed. And there is now a $250,000 reward for the person who did this. And hopefully they catch him. This man was delivering the mail and this happened. Let's keep on moving forward. They also say that he's a nice person. He's never bothered anybody. Nothing but good things to say about this mail carrier who lost his life.
Karen, we're developing tonight. There is a $250,000 reward in the
Atlanta
search for the person
decal.
who killed a U.S. Postal Service mail carrier. He was delivering mail in DeKalb County when someone opened fire on his mail truck. John Taisha Fernandez, live in DeKalb County, where the victim's co-workers are very concerned.
Karen and George, this is the post office on Wesley Chapel and Snapfinger Roads, and we're here because this is where DeQuavius Graves would get his mail truck, head out for a shift, and this is where he would return. Now, he was driving a mail van that looked just like this one. A spokesperson for USPS told us since the shooting, counselors have been at this location to comfort staff as police and other investigators try to figure out why someone killed a mail carrier on the job.
All I know is he was just on his route and he got shot.
Family of DeQuavius Graves, also known as Quay, can't figure out who would kill such a gentle soul, especially while Quay was just doing his job delivering
Thank
mail
you so
Thursday
much,
night.
Whenever he walked into the
Shannon
room,
Hansen for the $20 super chat. Everybody, thanks, Shannon. I appreciate you too.
You can't not notice him.
When someone shot and killed Quay here on Oxford Drive, a neighbor's surveillance camera recorded this video. DeKalb County Police and federal investigators are using it to figure out if someone targeted the victim because of his job with the U.S. Postal Service or if there's some other motive. USPS is posting this reward flyer all over the DeKalb County neighborhood. Police have been canvassing since Thursday's shooting. They're offering $250,000 for...
There is a $250,000 reward out right now for information that leads to an arrest, and anybody that knows about this thing. And if you go look at those comments, there's somebody in there that was like, man, I would give myself up right now for $250. But it's not even about that. It's about the way that the man lost his life. His family's never going to see him again. And the sad part about it is the person is still out there. And hopefully it doesn't happen to anybody else.
Information that leads to an arrest. Relatives say Quay was a hard worker and had been working for USPS for about 3 years. Co-workers showed up to his mom's house Sunday to pay their respects. They said they can't talk on camera about how much they enjoyed working with Quay because it's against union rules. However, they showed up.
They loved him. Like, I didn't know it was that much love for him. It was like he ran the post office because I didn't know he was that important.
That's good to know.
I wanted to mention that USPS wasted no time joining this investigation with DeKalb County Police. They showed up to the shooting scene and they're calling the gunman armed and dangerous. They don't want anyone approaching the suspect. They just hope anyone with information calls USPS and hopefully they can get that reward.
Hey, $250,000 on top of the fact that this guy might get caught. Somebody might be like this right about now. There's fear and darkness all around you. Some of the brothers is in the comments like, the criminals are on the run. Somebody thinking about becoming a bounty hunter right now. They're like, $250,000, huh? DeKalb County? I got some time on my hands. Yeah, that's how bounty hunters are built. Keep on moving forward, you guys. Let's get on over to Los Angeles, California. Zuckerberg, there's a whistleblower set to testify in a pivotal social media trial. Has the web companies been preying on our youth and you as well? How many times? I've asked you this the other day. I'm just going to be on here for a minute. Thank you so much, Miss Swanza. Postal worker, I feel for his family. Yeah, I feel for him too. As a postal worker, I love postal workers too and nurses. They mad cool. I had a question about that in New York, but I asked someone down the line. And Miss Swanza, thank you so much for always showing love and stepping up. And I want to give you a special prayer as well, because it's not an easy job depending on where you are and the stress that you got to go through. And there's a lot of postal workers that go through a lot out there. That's why we love you, because see, you're a good person. There you go. I knew it was the reason why we loved you already. Amen. Let's keep on moving forward. Thank you so much. Let's get on over to see what's going on with Zuckerberg and this whistleblower situation here. Because again, there's too much time to seem like they preying on us. What I wanted to go into was how long that you be on the phone, because I know it's me. Yeah, all day long. You be like, I'm just going to look at one thing, and then you're there. The next thing you know, bam, 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 bam. Yo, I've been on this joint for 3 hours. Something going on and it's not right. What could I have been doing with those 3 hours? Yeah, it's time to start putting the phone down and focusing on other stuff. The same way, you guys will be proud of me. I haven't had sugar in 2 days. That's right. Very low moderation is probably through what I've been eating, but much less, and I feel great. Cut down on the sugar and it actually works.
Good headway on trying to explain how the apps work and how problematic use can cause various types of difficulties and harms to teenagers and younger. As we move into next week, we want to tie the companies down more. We're going to bring some whistleblowers who will testify as well. And we anticipate putting on some good evidence next week. We think that we'll get some important testimony that the public hasn't heard before.
The attorney representing the plaintiff in the social media addiction trial underway in Los Angeles, giving a preview of what he plans to present when court resumes this week. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg is expected to testify on Wednesday, along with some Meta whistleblowers. A psychiatrist testified on Friday that people can get addicted to social media platforms, adding that social media can amplify mental health issues like anxiety and depression. Earlier, the head of Instagram testified that users could not get addicted to the platform.
Not true.
Meanwhile, more parents are sounding the alarm. Health advocate Julian Michaels wrote an op-ed for Fox News.
The problem is this. When you go on Instagram and certain apps like TikTok, what's the thing? You want to get views. So you're doing crazy stuff in order to get those views. I saw this person do this. I'm going to try to do the same thing. No matter how crazy it is, they be cursing out their parents, and sometimes the reactions are funny. But yeah, you're going to mess with the wrong parent, and you're going to probably get sent back to the essence, and you know what I'm talking about. Not only that, but there's a lot of times when things can happen just because you're trying to be part of the app, part of the world. I think that this next story, the fact that it happened at this time that this is going on, I hope that they actually pull this story in to what's going on when it comes down to the court proceedings right now. Story I'm about to tell you guys about that leads directly into this. We have a teenager that was trapped. His body so far has been rescued, and they're saying that he's still with us, but he's trapped from the Queensboro Bridge after a daring TikTok video he was trying to make. He just climbed the Queensboro Bridge yesterday. That's right, you guys, and he slipped. He was in sort of one of those cone sort of stairwells, or those things that you climb up, and there's guardrails around it. They're saying that he hit his head several times on his way down from that high level, and then he got caught up on a certain place, and the firemen had to come in and get him. And yeah, somebody's laughing, but he did go viral. He did go viral. Let's go, you guys. Double tap that screen to get those likes up. I know you guys didn't think I ain't have it. Just wasn't time for it. It's terrible in New York. Terribly relevant to what's going on with these stories right now.
A dramatic rescue at the 59th Street Bridge that could have been avoided. The FDNY says a teen got himself into serious trouble attempting to pull off a stunt inspired by social media.
Eyewitness News reporter Crystal Cranmore is live in Hell's Kitchen with the story. Crystal.
Good
Good afternoon. Well, we understand from authorities that the 16-year-old boy is in stable condition at the hospital right now. At this point, we are at the FDNY's Rescue One Firehouse and Hell's Kitchen, where officials plan to lay out the ins and outs of how they were able to rescue that teenager. We did catch up with a woman who chose to remain anonymous, but she says that she knows the victim and she was able to shed some light into what happened before first responders arrived and pulled that boy to safety.
New video captured this life-saving mission on the Queensboro Bridge around.
So just so you know, he's out. He's not conscious right now. He's out.
9 o'clock Monday night, as firefighters lifted a 16-year-old boy from the shaft of one of the butchers. Authorities say he had fallen 50 feet after climbing the Queens side of the bridge earlier in the day, all part of a daring stunt.
They were climbing to the top of the bridge. The shaft that he fell in, from what I believe, he was going down and he slipped, and since this enclosure is so small.
Now, she not trying to say it, but there's a possibility that she was there recording this thing, but of course she ain't gonna try to own it. Yeah, because you know a lot of details, boo.
He just hit his head back and forth on like the landings and the ladder.
A young woman who wished not to be identified says she knows the victim and learned of the incident around 5 o'clock yesterday after video circulated on WhatsApp. That's when she reached out to police.
I texted them anonymously. I didn't know really what to do either. Because I wasn't there, but these kids are panicking, and I was like, if there's someone in critical danger, I need to help.
She tells us the boy was climbing the bridge with a small group of friends who apparently left the teenager alone after he was injured.
Look.
One of his shoes fell off on one of the landings. There was like blood, it looked like, on like one of the ladders, and he sounded like he was like kind of screaming.
Emergency crews sprung into action when they arrived with more than 75 firefighters on the scene. Medics rushed the boy to the hospital. Those who know him are praying for his recovery and hoping others don't make the same mistake.
Call for help for their friends and stay with them and don't take the course of action that they did.
And firefighters will tell you that this was a confined space rescue that involved specialized training and equipment. We hope to learn more again at this press conference that's expected to start in just a few short minutes. Again, that teenager currently listed in stable condition at Cornell Medical Center. We'll have more at 5:30 this afternoon.
It's the same thing like when they run on top of the subway. It's the same thing like when they do that. Luckily, they haven't been doing that because they came up with some preventive measures. And somebody in the comments, you must be a detective because you sound very smart when you said somebody basically, his friends were there, and once he got caught up in the ish, they ran and probably left him there and started calling the police or whatever, but they were too nervous to stick around, especially when they saw that happened. They didn't think that he probably was alive, and they were scared about the fact that, yeah, exactly. Do me a favor, you guys, double tap that screen. Please get those likes up. If you want, you can go source that video right there to show your loved ones, your children, your nieces and your nephews, the ones that love being on social network, all of these things that's going on, and let them see what's happening when you follow these trends. It's very important, you guys, especially when you have the ammunition, like the receipts is what they call it now. We got the receipts. We don't want this to happen to you. I would use it. Just keep on moving forward, you guys. I'm telling you right now, I've been telling you guys all week about how to grow certain foods, what's gonna sustain, what sort of foods will regrow and things of that nature. But you always like, yo, Boogotti, I live in an apartment, man. Like, how am I gonna do this? Like, you telling me about growing this stuff, so we out when it comes to that part. No, stick around. Got something for people just like us that live in apartments, small backyards and patios, and probably little areas where we can set up some lights, if you know what I mean. Let's keep on moving forward, you guys. The tiny patio orchard. I always say, don't just tell people what to do, give them a way to do it and try to do it. Try this. Did you know that you can make plants grow, that you can have your own apple orchard, a little apple tree, a little lemon tree, and it does not take a lot of space? You know what you can use? A Home Depot bucket. That's right, you guys. I've got 5 dwarf fruit trees that you can grow in buckets. on your patio or on your fire escape. That's right. You're going to have to bring them in sometimes, but watch this. You're not going to believe it when I hit you with these right here. And not only that, this time we're showing you how to do it.
Any hardware store work perfectly and cost just a few dollars each. I'll cover exactly which varieties work best, how to set them up, care requirements, and what kind of harvests you can expect from each tree. These aren't just decorative plants, they're productive fruit trees that will give you fresh harvests year after year. If you've been dreaming of growing your own fruit but thought you didn't have the space, this video will change everything for you. Let's dive right in and discover the 5 best dwarf fruit trees for 5-gallon bucket growing.
But you can also subscribe to the channel, become a member, double tap that like button, double tap that screen to get those likes up, or become a member. Hit that notification bell down there too. Let's go.
Tree number 1, Dwarf Meyer Lemon, 3 minutes. The Dwarf Meyer Lemon is hands down the most popular container fruit tree, and for excellent reasons. This tree is absolutely perfect for 5-gallon buckets and produces abundantly even in small containers. Why Meyer lemons are ideal? Meyer lemons are naturally compact, growing just 4 to 6 feet tall in containers. They're self-pollinating, so you only need 1 tree for fruit production. They produce fruit almost year-round in the right conditions, with main crops in winter and spring. The fruit is sweeter and less acidic than regular lemons, perfect for eating fresh, cooking, and making lemonade.
Y'all cannot front. If y'all was able to make a lemon in your own house, y'all would not even, you couldn't even talk to you. If Terry was able to make her own lemons, or Vince, be like, yo, I made my own lemons, y'all. Y'all want to come over? Yo, taste this lemonade. Jeff would be like, yo, taste this lemonade. They'd be like, ooh, it's good. Like, yeah, I bet you don't know I made it with my own lemons. That's not country time right there. That's Jeffrey time right there. Y'all wouldn't be playing. Y'all would be standing behind y'all stuff then.
Setting up your bucket. Use a standard 5-gallon bucket and drill 8 to 10 drainage holes in the bottom, spacing them evenly. This is critical. Citrus hates wet feet. Fill with a well-draining citrus potting mix, or make your own with 50% potting soil, 30% perlite, and 20% compost. Plant your Dwarf Meyer lemon at the same depth it was growing in its nursery pot. Light requirements. Meyer lemons need 8 to 12 hours of direct sunlight daily for best fruiting. Place your bucket in the sunniest spot available. South-facing locations are ideal. If growing indoors during winter, position near a south-facing window or supplement with full-spectrum grow lights. Watering. Check soil moisture daily by sticking your finger 2 inches deep.
This is going to be for every single plant that we go through. This process. This is the process.
Water thoroughly when the top 2 inches are dry until water flows from drainage holes. In hot weather, this might be daily. In winter, water less frequently. Never let the soil become completely dry or waterlogged. Feeding schedule. Citrus trees are heavy feeders. Use a citrus-specific fertilizer with micronutrients every 4 to 6 weeks during the growing season from March through October. Look for formulas with nitrogen plus iron, zinc, and manganese. Reduce feeding in winter to once every 8 weeks. Expected harvest. A healthy Dwarf Meyer lemon in a 5-gallon bucket produces 10 to 30 lemons per year once mature, typically by year 2 or 3. The fruit takes 6 to 9 months to ripen from flower to harvest. You'll have fresh lemons available for most of the year. Temperature requirements. Meyer lemons are cold sensitive. Bring them indoors when temperatures drop below 50 degrees Fahrenheit.
Take them off the
They
fire
can tolerate brief dips to 32 degrees, but prefer temperatures between 55 and 85 degrees Fahrenheit.
Now, what I learned about this and growing myself is when you transfer your plants back and forth out of the elements back and forth, you actually make them stronger. You're getting them used to the elements. And if you wind up putting them out in the elements, they'll be able to sustain, especially when you're nursing plants. You want to do that once they get to a certain age. Try to let them go against the wind a little bit. I actually put my plant out and I let the wind get on them when it's a certain amount of wind, just so they can, stand up and go firm against that wind. Believe it or not, that helps the circulation. Let's go.
Common issues and solutions. Yellow leaves with green veins indicate iron deficiency. Use chelated iron spray. Leaf drop can result from overwatering, underwatering, or temperature shock.
So I want to show you the processes and the things that can possibly happen while you're going through this. So it's like once I planted my stuff, Bugatti, all of this stuff started happening. No, let's go into it knowing. Let's go into it knowing what could happen and what we can do to prevent it.
Maintain consistent care. Watch for aphids and spider mites. Spray with neem oil if needed. Pro tip: Meyer lemons flower and fruit simultaneously, so you'll see flowers, small green fruit, and ripe yellow fruit on the tree at the same time.
Like I said, if somebody came in my crib and seen some buckets with lemons growing on them, they'd be like, yo, you could really do that? Yeah, you can.
This extended harvest is one of their best features. Tree number 2, Dwarf Fig. Figs are among the easiest and most productive fruit trees you can grow in containers, and they absolutely thrive in 5-gallon buckets. If you want guaranteed fruit with minimal fuss, figs are your tree. Why figs excel in buckets? Figs have compact root systems that actually prefer the restriction of containers. It encourages fruiting rather than excessive vegetative growth.
Right.
Many varieties are naturally dwarf, staying 4 to 6 feet tall. They're incredibly productive, often yielding 20 to 50 figs per tree annually.
In a Home Depot bucket, y'all.
Figs are incredibly low maintenance and tolerate neglect better than most fruit trees. Best varieties for 5-gallon buckets. Petite Negra is a true dwarf variety bred specifically for containers, reaching just 3 to 4 feet tall and producing abundant, sweet, dark purple figs. Chicago Hardy is incredibly cold hardy to Zone 5 and produces reliable crops. Little Miss Figgy maxes out at 5 feet and fruits prolifically.
And yeah, Atlanta, y'all not the only ones that can get some Georgia peaches going on. They might not be from Georgia, but we can make those peaches in our buckets too. Same process. Let's go, you guys. Let's get it.
Care, and the fresh figs taste dramatically better than anything you can buy at a store. Tree number 3, Dwarf Peach. Nothing says summer like biting into a fresh, juicy peach from your own tree, and dwarf peaches make this possible in just a 5-gallon bucket. Modern dwarf peach varieties are bred specifically for container growing and
cut fig branches to increase the yield. Thank you so much, Lee. See, I told you, the people know what they're doing up in here.
Produce full-sized, delicious fruit. Why dwarf peaches work in buckets? Genetic dwarf peaches naturally stay compact without dwarfing rootstock, reaching 4 to 6 feet tall. They're self-pollinating, requiring only one tree for fruit production. The fruit is full-sized and just as delicious as standard tree peaches. They begin fruiting quickly, often in the 2nd year. Best container peach varieties. Bonanza is the classic genetic dwarf peach, growing just 4 to 6 feet tall with large freestone peaches. El Dorado produces huge yellow peaches with excellent flavor.
And after this, we're going to start getting into seeds. We're going to start finding where we can get organic seeds from, and we're going to create our own community for people that want to get seeds. Oh, Bugatti, you talking about this, but I can't find a seed to plant that. I thought about that. We need our own community of people that can get these seeds going. Yeah, I'm going to find some organic sources, and we're going to get into this.
Honey Babe has sweet, small to medium fruit and extremely compact growth.
So that was the peaches, right? I bet you don't believe that something that you guys buy out the store every day you can make yourself in a bucket. Watch this. Oh, this commercial first.
Working with different teams can get messy. Here's how Sonic keeps us on the same page. Sonic.
In spring,
thank you so
use
much.
copper fungicide spray in late fall and early spring for prevention. Protect ripening fruit from birds with netting. Tree number 4, Dwarf Apple. Apples are the quintessential fruit tree, and ultra-dwarf varieties grown on specific rootstock make apple growing in 5-gallon buckets completely achievable.
Great.
There's something magical about growing your own apples, even on a small balcony. Choosing the right rootstock. The secret to bucket apple growing is rootstock. Look for trees grafted onto M27 or M9 rootstocks.
We got proof. We got proof. Jeffrey Spilka. I had 2 dwarf peach trees for 30 plus years. They produced a bunch.
Which are ultra dwarf and dwarf rootstocks respectively. M27 keeps trees to 4 to 6 feet maximum.
Thank you, Jeff.
M9 grows slightly larger at 6 to 8 feet. These rootstocks are specifically designed for container culture. Avoid M26, MM106, or semi-dwarf rootstocks. They're too vigorous for buckets. Best apple varieties for containers. Look for spur-type varieties which fruit on short shoots rather than long branches.
And where are we getting this from? 5 dwarf fruit trees you can grow in buckets. Tiny patio orchard. I love that little thing right there where it says tiny patio orchard. That's phenomenal. So yes, 5 dwarf fruit trees you can grow in buckets. Tiny patio orchard. The name of the channel is Garden Salance. Garden, G-A-R-D-N, Salance. And of course, the link to this exact video is in the description. The list of all of the fruits that you have that you can create in tiny buckets is also here. Everything you need right here. Let's keep on moving forward, you guys. Let's go.
Fuji produces sweet, crisp apples on compact trees. Honeycrisp is possible in containers on M27 rootstock with excellent flavor.
And one of your favorites, I know you're not going to believe that you can make this at home, but watch this.
Low nitrogen fertilizer to encourage fruiting rather than excessive leaf growth. Stop feeding by midsummer. Fruit thinning. Apples naturally drop some fruit in June drop, but you'll need to thin further. When apples are marble-sized, thin to 1 apple per cluster, spacing fruit 4 to 6 inches apart. This prevents branch breakage and ensures larger, sweeter apples. Expected harvest. An ultra-dwarf apple on M27 rootstock in a 5-gallon bucket produces 8 to 15 apples per year once established, typically by year 3. This might not seem like much, but homegrown apple flavor is incomparable to store-bought. Winter dormancy needs. Apples require winter chill. Most apples need 500 to 1,000 hours below 45 degrees Fahrenheit. Without adequate chill, they won't flower or fruit properly.
Okay, what's next? We're going to get into it. Get those cherries up here.
Tree number 5, dwarf cherry. Cherries are often considered challenging to grow, but dwarf varieties in containers are surprisingly successful and incredibly rewarding. Fresh cherries from your own tree taste completely different from store-bought fruit. Sweet cherries like Bing require cross-pollination and more chill hours, making them trickier for containers. Sour cherries like Montmorency are self-fertile and easier to grow. For buckets, I recommend sour or Duke cherries, which are hybrids between sweet and sour. They're self-fertile, productive, and delicious for fresh eating and cooking. Best dwarf cherry varieties. Romeo is a bush cherry reaching only 4 to 6 feet, extremely cold hardy, and self-fertile with deep red fruit.
That's all 5. And what I really wanted you guys to know is the fact that I wanted to find a way that we can actually accomplish these things, actually pull it off. So now my next thing is, how many other things can we make inside of those buckets besides just those fruits? We can do it, you guys. And I'm going to go there. When everybody else running around, can't find no food, and they all messed up out here. Not only are we going to have food, we're going to have good food that we trust because we grew it. And guess what? We got to go under, we can keep on growing it. Because then we get on to the lights and the years of how the lights can last when it comes down to the LEDs and the different frequencies we can run them on. And yes, my brothers that like the that Sensi stuff, all you really need is a closet, a couple of lights. I ain't trying to get nobody in trouble, but you ever have a fish tank before? You know that little thing that makes the air go like that? Yeah. Put that on a little tube, run it around. That's going to pump your water to go around. On the other side, you have a little feed tank for your feed water. And then you want to put the fertilizer in there. So now, what we do extra now is we put it on a house timer so that you don't got to be around and it can work when you're not there. All you got to do is keep the water in, keep the fertilizer going, work with the levels of the lights and the stages, and you got some stuff in your closet. Think I ain't know about it? Come on, but I can't promote that here. We're nice people. We don't talk about that stuff. If I know how to grow one thing, Lord knows I know how to grow the other. My mama taught me how to grow. When you have a green thumb and you actually have a personal feeling with growth and seeing something come up, believe it or not, even that plant that you grow in that closet, you're not even going to want to when it's time. Because it's going to be like, that's my baby. But it might be time. It's time to turn them over and get it popping and get all them juices and everything to come down. Make sure you got the lights low. If you know, you know. Let's keep on moving forward, you guys. We got to get on over to Atlanta because you know we love our dogs. I happen to love them. And even when they do the craziest stuff, it makes me love them even more. I don't know if you kind of like me, but when they do crazy stuff, like tear up a car, instead of me getting mad at them tearing up the car, I'm wondering what made them do it? How can they do it? Yes, we got a woman here. She said, look, these dogs tore up my car, and when we tried to run behind them to stop them, they ran at us. Now, these are some bad dogs right here. Yes, sometimes we have some good ones, but sometimes we have some bad ones out there too. Come on, get these bad dogs to the front of the stage, you guys. Let's go. Let's get it.
An Atlanta woman says that her car was damaged in the most bizarre way. It was all caught on camera.
It was all caught on camera, and we're about to show it to you. 11 Alive's Chase Howell takes us to the video and shows us the very unlikely culprits that caused hundreds of dollars in damage.
Do your boy a favor. Double tap the screen. You won't see it nowhere else. Please, you guys, I want a lot of people to see this. And when you hit that like button, man, people come over. That means a lot. A lot more people come over. I really want them to see what this dog decided to do to this car.
Dollars in damage.
No, your eyes aren't fooling you. What you're watching is a video of dogs ripping a car apart.
I didn't tear any folks' car up, you did me. Yeah.
This is another angle of the dogs gnawing on the front panel. In this TikTok video, you can hear people yelling at the dogs from their car before it charges after them. Friday morning, this is how the car looks. The owner, who chose not to go on camera, says the dogs chewed up the car's coolant tank, wires, and put scratches all over it. But the question is, who covers the damage?
Yeah, this is crazy.
My dog ate my homework.
This dog's like gnawing on the bumper trying to get to something. There's definitely something under the hood of this car, I think.
Reed Handler is a managing partner at Rob Hill Insurance Group. He says this isn't his first time seeing something like this happen.
The rodents, if they're in there and they cause damage, it could be tricky to provide coverage. But if you have comprehensive coverage, which is included in like what people call full coverage, it covers things you can't control. So like theft, vandalism, act of nature, animal claims.
Handler says you don't have to have full coverage to get this covered under insurance. He says if your car is paid off, you can carry comprehensive coverage by itself.
You never think something's going to happen like that until something does, and then you want to make...
Like, I always wanted to know, why would they do that? Like, what would make them dogs... It happened 3 days ago, yeah, it's true, happened 3 days ago. But it's a new story to us, and it's the weekend, it was the weekend, so no doubt, let's get it out there. I don't know what made them want to eat that. Maybe she put some... This is what happened, y'all, I got it. This is my theory. The lady's a chef. Yep, and she can cook real good. This lady know how to cook. She cooked barbecue, right? And when she come out, she be having the big trays. And sometimes she'll sit the big tray on top of the car before she can set it where she got to go. Some of that barbecue sauce or that smell got into the hood of the car. And the dog said, barbecue. Oh, man, I don't know what really happened. I can't tell you guys, but all I know is we love dogs and animals around here, and we ain't see nothing. We ain't see nothing, we ain't hear nothing about it, and we ain't had nothing to do with it. But guess what, you guys? If y'all trying to make some money, hit that link in the description. And that's right, you guys, you'll be able to make up to, how much is in there today? I think it's about $520. We use a platform called, I'll share the platform with you guys. What's the name of that platform that I use for these surveys? Because I try to vet them very well. And you know, you got some people that get through the cracks and sometimes something happens. I'll let you guys know the name of the app, and of the platform that we use. But I've been able to make monetary on it myself, been able to do a few of the surveys. So I thought to myself, maybe if I share it with the people here, they might be able to do that too. So they provide people like me with a link where I can actually share various different surveys with different people. And if you make some money, I make some money too. That's right. It's called Respondent. That's right. Respondent is the platform that I've been using for a while. Again, I think it's up to about $640 today in surveys, various topics, different things. Sometimes if it doesn't pertain to you, you don't have to do it. And sometimes you may not get the survey because you just may not be qualified. That's how that goes. But guess what? We put it up there anyway, because just in case we'd be able to make some money, because we're hustlers around here and we try to share the love. Also, if you got a business you're trying to promote to get it out there, you're a landscaper, doctor, I don't know what you do, mobile doctor, a painter, maybe you're a good person at planting. Maybe you know horticulture and you're a good green thumb and you want to get out there to help people. You know what? Send us your promo. We'll put it up in the post notification area here on Our Bottom Line. That gets it out to many more people where you can have the chance to get to 65,000 plus subscribers. And we're on our way to 70 plus, you guys. We've been working and putting it down, and that's what we get. We get what we deserve. That's why I like to put out a lot of positive. Hopefully, return the same thing. The same thing will return. That's right. So that's what we're trying to do over here. We share the platform if you're subscribed, if you're a member, or if you what we're gonna do with that? Share, like, subscribe, and if you've been around for a long time, like our vets, we love to share the platform as well. So send over your promo. 1080 by 1080 has to be in a 1080 size frame in order for it to fit in the YouTube section. That's right, you guys. And also, what am I going to tell you guys about? Because if you don't talk about it, if you don't bring it into life, it won't exist. That's how I started doing this event. The Show Your Talent Search. That's where myself, BOOGOTTINYC, and my DJ Don Dada, formerly of Black Ink Crew, come together. A lot of times we'll meet up at a liquor store or a restaurant or a bar, and we do tastings. But this time we turned it up a little bit. We wanted to give back, so we started this thing called the Show Your Talent Search, where you, Manhattan, Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, and Staten Island, can show us your talent. And since we do this every day, I said, you know what? Why don't we bring somebody in from online? If you guys want to chime in when we're doing one of the events, all you got to do is send your email address to bridgethisllc www.drinkbigdrip@gmail.com. That's right. The website, www.drinkbigdrip.com. www.drinkbigdrip.com. Go to the first page. I'm talking a lot. Go to the first page, put your email address in the first page or where the emails go, and we'll keep you posted on where we're going to be at and much, much more. www.drinkbigdrip.com. 2 G's, 2 P's, email address. We'll keep you posted on where we're at. Maybe you'll be able to, boom, make $250. And after we get everybody together, that's going to be 6 people, whether it be a group or one individual. The pot is thickened for $1,000. So whoever wins this Show Your Talent Search, you guys, you got a chance of walking away with a nice, pretty pot of money. That's going to be the $250 plus the $1,000. About $1,300 right there. Why not? I'm sorry, $1,250. Why not go for it, you guys? Why not? And that's what we're doing today over at Our Bottom Line. We're showing the love and we're sharing and we're giving back. Thanks to Big Drip Hard Punch. www.drinkbigdrip.com. Go check out the website. There's also a QR code on there too. So if you guys want to check out the product, got to be 21 and older, and that's how we do it over here. It's time. Got to put those prayers up. It's time, you guys. You know what today is. It's Wednesday, and we got to make sure that we're good out there. We got to cover everybody. Is it Wednesday? I want to make sure. Yeah, my days are kind of crazy because all I do is this, constantly putting up content and constantly making sure that we're up to date. So yes, Wednesday, February the 18th, you guys made it past Valentine's Day, and now the next vacation is going to be, not vacation, but the next holiday is going to be St. Patrick's Day, which is my birthday, and I'll be talking about it. You guys see the clover? I'm getting ready. Next month, almost there. My birthday coming up. We want to get these prayers up in the air, you guys, and yes, we are going to the parade. We're doing it again. Want to show the prayers and love for every single person that's in here, for our family members as well. I want to pray for health, good spirits, making sure that we can actually come together as a community. So that's communication and much, much more, you guys, as well as your family members. Who we praying for right now? And our animals, Rebecca Lanyan Bueno. She made it in, you guys. She got our prayers earlier. Vincent, who's that? Rogelo, Jay Wood, Jordan, Kinsey, Rebecca Lanyan Bueno. I see Batty Lynn in here. Audrey, Teddy, Miggity Mark, AP, CJ the Cat. How you doing, CJ the Cat? And everybody else, Miss Swanza. Who else we want to put in? Sam Champion. Can't forget about Casey Ramos, Liberty and Justice. Hope you're doing fantastic today, sis. Who else? Jeffrey Spilker, Mark Dorfman, Luigi, Stuffs. Who else we got up in here today? Okay, I see Hunter's in here. Ad Rains, Pixie, Chris Caldwell. We got to get those prayers up for everybody here. Skull Caps, blank, Kinsey. I see Mega Dub. Oh yeah, I know Mega Dub. That's right. Mega Dub always comes through. Can't forget about Jordan Dougherty and Vincent, Skull Caps and Teddy. Okay, Hunter Medina, you're going to be the last one. And Flowers of Christ. Amen, you guys. That's right. Hump Day, Wednesday. Want you guys to have a fantastic one. Be safe out there no matter where you're at. Live your life no matter what. Again, a lot of people say to me, Bugatti, why do you put on a suit just to go live? Why not? It's a part of life. God brought me here another day. It's my way of saying thank you, and it's my way of hanging out with you guys and letting y'all know how serious we are about the show. Again, like we say it, #1 show on YouTube from 6 o'clock until we're done. Why? Because we put it in. #1 host, and I could not do it without the #1 family and the #1 co-host, Liberty and Justice. You guys, all my mods, Jeffrey Spilker, Batty Lynn, you guys are family. Love you. Can't wait until tomorrow, because guess what? We do it all over again, just like we didn't do it at all. Brand new show, new updated information, new trending topics and current events, and much, much more. And y'all could have went anywhere. But the fact of the matter that you came here to chill with me on Wednesday, hump day, on the 18th, I appreciate you. So until tomorrow, get 'em. Peace.